Let's be honest here. You're probably watching this video right now because you want to start your own online business working from home, right? My name is Darrel Wilson, and today in this video, I'm gonna be showing you all how to start your own online business working from home selling web hosting services. In fact, the CEO of NameHerocom, which is a very large and respectable web hosting company, is going to help me in this tutorial today to show you exactly what to do step by step. And to be completely honest, we put a lot of work into this video. We were going back and forth for weeks, making sure it was perfect to provide you all with very good, valuable information that you can use to help you create your own online business. So we really hope that you enjoy it and you benefit from it. And if you have any questions, put them in the comments below. So with that said, let's get started with the video. Hey, what's up, party people? My name is Darrel Wilson, and today in this video, I'll be showing you step by step on how to start your own online business working from home selling web hosting services. So by the end of this video today, you'll be able to start your own online web hosting business from scratch with no experience required. Web hosting is a multi-billion-dollar industry that generates recurring monthly revenue and is easy to manage because you are just reselling digital space. Plus, you don't have to worry about shipping or inventory because everything is digital, making it really easy for beginners or for anyone who wants to get started today. Also, we're going to be using a drag and drop builder called Elementor, and you'll also receive a lot of pre-made web hosting templates that you can easily import your entire website in one click that'll make your website look super professional. Okay, so let me show you all how you can make money with this and also what you can expect to learn today in this tutorial. So here's a website I'm going to show you how to make today, and this is selling web hosting services and domains. Don't forget, you'll also receive this same pre-made website in this video, plus several others. Customers will then come to your website and purchase web hosting. Here, the customer can select their domain where they can register their websites. Next, we have web hosting packages. We can create as many packages as you want, and you can price your packages any price you want as well. Next, the customer can also purchase add-ons for their website, so you can also offer other services like SEO services or even content writing packages. Then the customer can use their credit card on your website and also check out on your website instantly, making you recurring revenue. Next, the customer portal will be automatically created for them where they can install WordPress or any other software they want to use to build their website without you having to do anything at all because the entire system is automated. And personally, you never know what's going to happen. A lot of these companies started up just like you, and they built themselves up, and now they are six-figure web hosting businesses just like these other companies. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's get started and create your new web hosting business. All right, let's get this tutorial started. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to purchase reseller hosting from namehero.com. Now we also do have an exclusive discount for all of you watching this video to help get you started with your web hosting business. Step 2, we're going to install WordPress. And as you know, WordPress is super easy, drag and drop builders, all that good stuff. Step 3, we're going to install WHMCS onto your website, so this can automate the whole process of people coming to your website and buying web hosting services. Step 4, we're going to purchase a WordPress theme. Now, we're going to be using a premium WordPress theme in this video called Hostico, and it's made specifically for web hosting businesses. Step 5, we're going to make all the settings, install the theme, changing the links, importing the demo content, and designing your websites. And then step 6, we are actually going to hand this entire tutorial over to Ryan Gray from namehero.com, where he's going to walk you through the process of how to use WHMCS and how to apply all the settings to your new website. Now there is a link in the description of this video. It'll take you to a page to purchase reseller hosting from namehero.com. All right, party people, so this right here is namehero.com, and this is where we are going to purchase reseller hosting. Now, one quick note, you guys have seen my other videos where we talk about purchasing shared and cloud hosting, but for this specific tutorial, we need to purchase the reseller hosting because we need to resell the hosting, right? Duh. So here we have 4 different plans. We have the silver, the gold, the platinum, and the diamond. Now, for this specific tutorial, we cannot get the silver because the silver does not include the WHMCS license that we need. So that leaves us with the gold, the platinum, and the diamond. Now, personally, out of these 3 plans, the best value here is the platinum plan because you do get double the amount of SSD storage for just a few bucks more a month. So personally, if you're just getting started out for the very first time, I would definitely go with the platinum. That is the best value here. So right here under order now, we have different options. So we have a month, the year, 2 years, or 3 years. Personally, I think the best option for all of you watching this is 1 year, because that'll actually give you enough time to decide, if this is for you or not. So for most of you, I would select the 1 year plan, or if you feel like you just want to go ahead and purchase more, that is up to you. And that is strictly up to you. But for me, in this tutorial, I'm going to select 1 year. Now here we have some options. We have register a domain, we can transfer. I'm assuming most of you don't really have a domain, but if you want to transfer your domain, you can do that. But for most of us just getting started out, I'm going to enter a new domain. So what's really funny? Look at this. I put in this domain right here and I just did check. That's actually not available. Someone actually bought that domain. Like, who does that? So here I'll just go ahead and put in wmcswebhosting.com and click on check. And that's available. So I'll go ahead and use this domain and click on continue. All right, cool. So next we have the shopping cart where they're going to upsell some additional services. Personally, we don't need anything here. The only thing that you should have checked is this little box right here. And this allows your customers to get free SSLs for their websites. And that's pretty important. So you really want to make sure that's checked. And of course, that is free as well. So go ahead and click on continue. Next, we have these 3 plans right here. And personally, I do recommend the ID protection. So what this does right here is this will protect your personal information from people who try to get your information from your domain. So personally, I always recommend to have ID protection on because again, it'll greatly reduce the amount of spam that you get. All right, next we have the review and checkout. So here you can see we purchased the Platinum Reseller where we can go ahead and resell hosting for the entire year. And then we registered our domain and we have a massive discount applied. So usually this will cost you around maybe $600, but with the discount today, you're only going to pay around $300 for your entire web hosting business to get started. So right here, just click on checkout. All right, so next we have the checkout page. And as you can see, NameHero is really highly rated. And personally, I do use NameHero. They're a really fast web hosting company. In fact, I have another YouTube video where I actually test them and they perform top 2 as the fastest. So I'll put that in the description if you want to check it out later. But right here we have the personal information and the billing address. Now right here we have support pin. Make sure you write this down because when you call for questions or something like that, they're going to ask for your support pin and they use this to identify you. And then right here, you can go ahead and just fill all this stuff out, like your account security, your password. You can choose your method of payment, such as credit card or PayPal, and even Coinbase. Ooh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. And then right here, you can go ahead and opt into their newsletters, or you can say no, thank you. And then once you're done, you'll click on I have read and agreed to the terms of service and payment policy, blah, 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 blah. And then you'll click on complete order and that'll meet you on the very next page. Okay, so we purchased our web hosting and you can also give them a survey telling them how they did, how was the checkout process. But right here, just click on continue to client area. Awesome, so this right here is your client area. So let's say, for example, you have a problem. These are where your tickets are going to be displayed. If you owe a bill, this is where you can pay it. Also, they have domains right here. So this is all the domains that you have. And then right here, we have cloud web hosting packages. Here you can go ahead and update your information. So you can update your phone number or your address anytime that you want. So let's go ahead and first activate the WHMCS license for our website. So right here, you see our domain and it's currently active. So just click on this right here. Next right here, we have add-ons and extras. So we need to go ahead and activate the WHMCS starter license that we got. So right here, I'll click on this and simply click on the free WHMCS starter license. Click on purchase and activate. Now, this is already included for free, so we don't have to buy it, but we do need to check out. So just go ahead and check out with it. And then go ahead and do the same process as you did before. Okay, so now we are ready to build our web hosting website. Right here, we have the domain. Just go ahead and click on that where it says Platinum Reseller and it says active. And then right here, you can go ahead and log into the cPanel. So next we're gonna go ahead and scroll down right here. And I think most of you know WordPress. You probably used it before or even heard about it. It is the easiest platform for building websites. So we're gonna scroll to the bottom right here and you're going to see WordPress under the Softaculous Apps Installer. So just click on WordPress. And then right here, just click on Install Now. And don't worry about all this stuff. You can change all of this later, so don't worry about it. But here you can give your site a name and a description. But the most important information that you need to enter is the admin username. So go ahead and put in an admin username and then a password. So I'll just put password and then your email. Now this is very important because if you go to forgot password, this is where the email it's going to go to. So just make sure that you put in an email that you have access to. So if you speak different languages like Arabic, or you speak other languages like Spanish or Portuguese, in fact, I do have 2 other channels where I teach everything in Spanish and Portuguese. And then right here, we'll go ahead and scroll down, just keep scrolling. And then right here, simply just click on install and we are all good to go. And your website has been successfully installed. So right here, if you want to see your website, just simply click on this link right here. All right, awesome. So this right here is the backend. And if you want to see your website right now, it is live. So right here under my blog, click on visit sites. And this right here is your new website. So we do have some work to do, but yeah, your website is now live on the internet. So let's go back here under dashboard and let's first go ahead and talk about some general options before we talk about everything else. So first, let's talk about some general options before we jump into web hosting. So again, the first thing that you want to do is go over here into general. And if you want to change the language, you can go ahead. So first, let's go ahead and cover some general options before we jump into web hosting. So first, over here under settings, under general right here, this is again where you can change the language. So you can change this to any language that you want. You can change your email. You can also change the site title and the tagline. And then you can just put general preferences like the date and everything else. Right here under permalinks, you want to make sure that this right here is under post name. Now this is very important because we're going to use a theme later that requires you to put this under post name. So don't forget that. And then here you'll click on save changes. Next, under users and under your profile right here, this is where you can go ahead and change your email. Now, if you lose access to your email, you can always go ahead and update it right here. Also, I do like to change the background. I like midnights because I feel like midnights, you can see this a little bit better because, it just shows you where the, where your mouse cursor is and everything. So I'll scroll down right here. And one last thing, if you want to change your password, this is where you can do it. So if you click on generate password, you can make your own password or update it. And that's pretty important, especially if your site starts generating a lot of money. So yeah, just keep that in mind. And I'll click on update profile. All right, awesome. Now there's one thing that we need to do before we install the WordPress theme. So right here on the top, you can see this connection is not secure. Now we do have an SSL on this website, but unfortunately we need to enforce it. So we're going to use a free plugin for that. So here under the plugins, we'll click on add new. Plugins are pretty much applications for your website, guys. So you know how like your iPhone or your Android has a bunch of different applications? That's basically the same thing as plugins. It's just basically applications. So the one that we need to install is called Really Simple SSL. It's actually right here. You can also find it by going to the search box and typing in SSL. And it'll be the first one available. So right here, just click on install now. And then click on activate. Now, one thing to keep in mind before you do this, make sure you have your information written down because this is actually going to kick you out of WordPress. So the information that you use to log into your websites when we installed WordPress, you're going to need that information again. So just make sure you know it before you click on the button because then it's going to kick you out of WordPress. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this because I know my username and password. So click on activate SSL. All right, and then it was what, admin and then password, right, for me? Remember me and login. All right, cool. So on the top right here, you can now see that this is secured. Now, the reason why you want this is because Google's going to tell other people that your website's not secure, and it's going to recommend them not to go to your website. So make sure you have that installed on your website. Next, we're going to install WHMCS onto our website. So essentially what we're doing here, so next we're going to install WHMCS onto our websites. So we can do that all through the client area. So right here, just click on log into cPanel. Now, what WHMCS is, again, it's another platform that we're going to add onto our website. If you're confused, don't worry about it. You are going to understand it all once we install the WordPress theme. So let's scroll down right here, and we're going to find WHMCS right here. Click on WHMCS. Right here, click on Install Now. Okay, so next we're going to install WHMCS onto our website. That's a tongue twister, WHMCS. So first I'll click on the quick install. Here we have our domain, and this right here is the in directory. Now you want to go ahead and put something here that makes sense. So for example, I'll put purchase. So this is going to create a new page and also a new permalink. If you're not sure just yet, you can kind of just watch me and understand how this works into our website. WHMCS data, I'm going to leave that standard because this is just going to create a folder for us. Here we have admin folder. I'll leave it set to admin. Valid license key. So you want to go ahead and go back to your WHMCS account, and you want to go ahead and copy and paste the license key. So I'll go ahead and copy that and paste that right there. Admin username, I'm going to set mine to Darrel03. And then for my password, I'll put paddywhack. Admin email, make sure you have some sort of access to this email. So I'll put my email right here. And once we are all set, we can go ahead and press install. So I'll click on install. Next is going to install WHMCS onto our website. All right, so WHMCS has been installed. Under the administrative URL, I'll click on the link right here. All right, so this right here is the WHMCS login page. So I'll go ahead and put in my username and my password. Now guys, one thing I want to let you all know is that make sure you have the right credentials. If you enter the wrong credentials in 3 times, it will ban you from your own website, and you'll have to make a whole new ticket to get access to your site, because I've used this for a long time and it's very frustrating when I forget my information. So just make sure that you don't forget your information, because if you enter it wrong 3 times, you will be banned. So I'll click on Remember Me and click on Log In. All right, so here we have a cool setup wizard. So this is where you can go ahead and set general settings, payments, where you can go ahead and enable domains, web hosting, and where you can create all of your web hosting packages, etc. But I'm going to close this really quickly. So this right here is your dashboard. So whenever you make sales, whenever you get customers, this is where it's all going to be displayed right here. So you can see the link right here, and then purchase, and then admin, and that's what you would use to log in. So simply just go ahead and log in whenever you want, and this is logging into your WHMCS account. Let's go ahead now and take a look at our website right here. Now I'm going to go ahead and go over here and type in purchase. All right, so now you see how the website, our website, is integrated with WHMCS. And here, people can go ahead and search for a domain, they can transfer it, and they can go ahead and purchase everything on your website. Now, the reason why we're going to use a custom theme for this is because our website looks a little different than the current one. So here we have our website, and here we have WHMCS. So they do look a little different. So we are now going to install a WordPress theme that's going to make your site look amazing, and we're also going to connect both of them to make the sites look identical. So next we're going to install our WordPress theme, and the WordPress theme that we're going to use is going to integrate our website with WHMCS, and we're going to change our website from that to something like this right here. So this right here is a fully pre-made template. It comes with pages, it comes with packages, and it also comes with a WHMCS bridge that'll bridge the website together to kind of make them look identical. So for example, we have our website, and we also have our WHMCS right here. So you can see how the theme integrates WHMCS with your website to make them look very identical. So instead of looking like this and like this, it looks a lot more professional and it looks a lot more connected. Now there is a link in the description of this video. It'll take you to a page to purchase the Hostico theme. Now there are also other templates that you can use. So there are a lot of other templates that you can use. And the reason again why we're using this theme is because it has a bridge. So we can style and design our WHMCS page without using a lot of custom code. So you do require custom code if you want to change that page, but with this theme, we can go ahead and change our WHMCS page so it'll look a lot more better. So this is the theme that we're going to use. It's called Hostico. And again, it comes with pre-made templates. It has a bridge, and it's made specifically for WHMCS. Man, that is a really tongue twister in this video to keep saying WHMCS. So this is the theme that we're going to use. It costs $39. It's not too expensive, and you do get a lot of bang for your buck. So you'll go ahead and purchase this theme, and once you purchase it, it'll be available in your downloads. Now, I already have this theme, so I'll walk you through the process of how to set it up. So here's the theme that we're going to use. It's called Hostico. So here I'll download it, and I'll click on All Files and Documentation. Now, this theme actually is a little tricky to install, so I'm gonna walk you through exactly on how to upload it to your website. It's a little different from other themes. Okay, so I downloaded the theme. I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna drag it right here just to kind of walk you through on exactly where to go. So right here you see the theme. I'm gonna go ahead and delete these other ones I was messing around with earlier. So you'll double click on the theme. So it's a zip file, so you'll go ahead and open it. Once you open it, you'll get this folder. You'll open the folder, and here you'll see the Elementor theme. Double click on the Elementor theme, and you'll see this hostico.zip. Take this file and drag it to your desktop. This is the file that we're going to use to upload to your website. So you're not going to upload the original file. We're going to upload this file inside of the actual zip file. Now, there is one small change that we need to do to our server before we upload the theme. Go to your client area, go to this section right here, and you'll log in to your cPanel. Now, there's one quick change that I want to do before we do this, because I actually went ahead and I did everything before this video, and I did run into one small error. So you're going to scroll down and go to Software and go to Select PHP Version. I know people get scared of server configurations and something like the Ion Cube Loader and all that stuff, but this stuff is really simple. So simply click on Options and scroll down. All you want to do is make sure your memory limit is 128, your post max size is 32, and your upload max file size is around 16. And that's it. And once you do that, it'll save automatically. Because I think the theme is a little bit bigger than the standard 4 megabytes. So I think by default they have 4, so it won't let you upload it. So if you put it at 16, you'll have no problem. So here we'll go to my blog, dashboard, appearance, click on themes, add new. I'm sure you guys have done this several times. Upload theme, browse, and then I'll find the file right here. So it's called Hostico. See, it is bigger than 4 megabytes, so you really will need to make that change in order to upload the theme. So by standard, it's 4 megabytes, so change it to 16, so you'll be able to upload the theme. So I'll click on Open, and then I'll click on Install Now. So now it's uploading the WordPress theme onto our website to make it look beautiful. All right, so we have uploaded the Hostico theme, and here you'll click on Activate. All right, so are you guys with me? Congratulations, we have now installed the WordPress theme, and our WordPress website is gonna look a little bit better just by installing that one theme. Now here it's going to say, begin installing plugins or dismiss this notice. Click on begin installing plugins. So what we're gonna do is we're going to install the necessary plugins that we need in order to make a functional web hosting website. So I'm lazy, I'm just going to click on this, select all, and then under bulk actions, I'll select install and I'll click on apply. So it's installing the plugins, here we go. Okay, so I have installed the required plugins. On the bottom, I'll return to required plugins, and now we're going to activate the plugins. So I'll click on all again, click on activate, and apply. All right, so I have installed the plugins. Now, if you got an error saying that you're not allowed to do this, or if you got any error, just refresh the page or just visit your website, and any weird error that you get should go away. So this annoying notice right here is saying you need to register, you need to register. Let's just go ahead and register the theme so this thing stops popping up and stops bothering us. So here I'll click on register now. So when you purchase Hostico, in the actual file right here, under download, it'll say license certificate and purchase code. You'll simply go ahead and open this text, and here you'll see the item purchase code. Just go ahead and copy this and paste it into the WordPress theme. So I'll paste that code right here and click on register the code. All right, so the theme has been successfully activated. I'll click on save changes. All right, so now you can see that we have all these templates that we can use and we can install on our website. Now there's one more small server change that we need to make. So here you'll see that they'll tell you about your server and if there's something that they need or if there's something that's not compatible. Here under the max execution time, we need to set it to 60. So go back to your cPanel. Remember here how we have the PHP selector? So if you don't know where to go, you'll go to log into cPanel. You'll scroll down to software. Under software, you'll select PHP version. And then you'll click on options. And here you'll see max execution time. Just change that to 60. And click somewhere else and success. If we go back to our websites and we reset the section and click on OK, you'll now see that the server looks good, and now we can go ahead and import any website we want. So here I'll just go ahead and grab any template. Now remember, you can install any template that you want. At this point, it's basically your website, and you can use any template and then adjust it to fit your needs or criteria. I think this right here is a new one. You guys want to check that one out. It's definitely a new one. But I'll just keep it simple. I'll click on this one and click on install and click on OK. Also, you can go ahead and delete the entire website and start over again. You won't lose any of your important settings, and just know that it'll delete your entire website and the database so you can restart from scratch. All right, cool. So the layout has been installed. Let's take a look at our website. All right, and look at this. We have a beautiful website, fully designed, and it's all ready to go. So the website was made, and on top of that, it has all the pages over here for us. So it has all these other cool pages that it created for us. So hosting, domain. It also has these other pages like the blog, the about, the contact, and you can go ahead and have fun with all of this stuff right here. So let's just click on one page just to see how it all looks. I'll click on shared hosting. So here's our shared hosting, and we have our tables and we have some prices. Really, really cool. So ultimately, I think this is a really cool theme to get you started because it just created a beautiful web hosting website for us. And now we can kind of focus on what's important, like making money, right? So let's go to our home page. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we are going to connect WHMCS with our website. So, for example, if you go to our website -purchase, right? That was the domain that, or the link that we're using. You can see it's taking us to this website, and it looks really ugly. So first, let's link this site together. I want to take this and copy it. Now, on your website, you'd probably want to do the same thing. You want to go ahead and redirect people to that website. So now let's link WHMCS with our website. We're going to use a plugin for that called WHMCS Bridge, and it's already installed for free. So I'll take this link right here and copy it. So this is the link that you need. It's very important. Make sure you have this specific link. And let's go back to the back end of our website of WordPress. So my blog and dashboard. Next, we'll scroll down to settings and go to WHMCS Bridge. Here, you'll go ahead and paste the URL of the WHMCS URL like that, and scroll down. And for footer, we're going to put none. And then here, I'll click on Save Settings. Now, if you want to see if this is working or not, you'll go over here to iHelp and click on Check for Problems with My Setup. Click on that. All right, so the plugin is telling us that there's no problems. Now, if you want to see your new setup with WHMCS, this is now your new link. So you know how before it was our website.com-purchase? Now it's using this permalink right here. So go ahead and click on this permalink. So this does look a little funny, but not to worry, we're going to fix this page, but you can see how the website is starting to change and how the plugin is connected to our website. So to fix this page, it's a simple fix. you'll click on Edit Page right here. Now this applies to basically all the templates that you use. And under Page Attributes, just go to Elementor Full Width and click on Update. And then we'll view the page. All right, so now we have a beautiful WHMCS page and it's fully designed and looks great. So you can kind of go ahead and kind of look around and everything. Now I want to go ahead and talk about the menu really quickly. So this right here is integrated with WordPress. So this will actually take users back to the WordPress website. These right here will take them to the WHMCS platform. So for example, if someone wants to go check out the hosting packages over here under hosting, they can click on shared and it'll take them back to the WordPress website. And it'll take them back to the WordPress website. So just keep that in mind. Here I'll go back. Now if someone wants to go ahead and register a new domain with WHMCS, for example, under the store, I'll click on register a new domain. And here users can register a domain. You can set a price. You can go ahead and add some web hosting packages. And you can also allow users to transfer domains to your web hosting websites. So before I give this tutorial over onto Ryan Gray, let's quickly summarize how this works and how you can link these together. So for example, I'm at my home page for WHMCS, and this is my new permalink. I'll go ahead and copy this and I'll go to my home page. So the trick here is you want to kind of redirect people to WHMCS where they can purchase web hosting. So let me give you an example. Here I will edit the page builder. So here I've enabled Elementor, and what I'll do is I'll go ahead and take that link and I'll put it inside of this button right here. So under the link section, I'll paste it and I'll click on updates. Now, as you're building your web hosting website, whenever you make packages from WHMCS, you want to go ahead and take the links for those and put them where they're supposed to be on the WordPress website. I hope you understand that. I hope I'm not losing you there. So Ryan Gray is going to show you, for example, how to make a shared hosting account. And once you make a shared hosting account in WHMCS, you'll take that link and put it here where you can redirect people to WHMCS. So let's just go ahead and make sure that these links are working. Here I'll click on the view page. So for example, you have a new visitor coming to your website and they probably want to buy some services. So here I'll click on order now. And now you can see how it's redirecting people to WHMCS. Now people don't really know it's two different platforms because they can still go back to home and go back to WordPress. So here they can go ahead and put in their information, etc. So as you build your website, you want to kind of guide them and show them where to go on your WHMCS platform. I hope that makes sense. I hope you guys are all ready to go. Now, one thing I want to note that this is using a drag and drop builder called Elementor, and you can build your website with Elementor. It's completely drag and drop and doesn't really require any sort of experience whatsoever. Now, I'm not really going to cover the whole rundown of Elementor, but just to give you a quick crash course, if you want to add something, you would just take the button and drag it like that and go back over here, and you can take some text and just drag and drop it, and vice versa. I'll right click on this and delete it and also delete. Now I'm not going to cover Elementor in this video because this video is more for web hosting, and if you do want to see how to use this page builder step by step, I do have a free tutorial that you can watch where we go through all the settings with Elementor. We talk about how to use the page builder from scratch. But again, it's very intuitive. It's not that difficult to learn. So if you're totally new to Elementor and this is your very first time, I highly recommend to watch this video. However, most of you probably know how to use Elementor, so if you are an expert, congratulations, you can keep going on with this tutorial. Okay, so before I hand this tutorial over to Ryan Gray, I just want to clarify and make sure you understand what we just did. So again, if you want to log into your website, your WordPress website, you'll type in wp-admin, and here you can go ahead and log into your website and build and design your websites. Now also, if you want to go ahead and log into WHMCS, where we're going to make hosting packages and sell domains and basically how you make money, you're still going to go to your website and dash purchase. So you're going to use the old one that we originally started with, not WHMCS bridge 2, just dash purchase and then again admin, and it'll take you to this page right here. Now, Ryan Gray is going to take over this tutorial and he's going to show you how to make hosting packages and how to apply them to your website so you can start making money. So again, guys, I wish you all the best. Congratulations on your new website. And now I'm going to give it over to Ryan Gray from namehero.com.
Hey, thanks, Darrell. Hey, everyone. I'm Ryan Gray, the founder and CEO here at NameHero. And it's certainly a pleasure to be along here on Darrell's channel. I want to send a special thanks to him for letting me come on and work with his audience. I'm really excited that you've gotten to this point in the tutorial. If I just kind of go back over here, we can highlight what you've accomplished so far. This is a fantastic looking website that Darrell's helped you develop. It looks super professional and your audience is really going to respond well to it. I can absolutely be sure of that. So if you're at this point, you should have your WordPress website set up where you can kind of see your template and your theme, and you're ready to start incorporating WordPress with WHMCS. So let's head over here to NameHero, because before I start showing how to configure WHMCS, I want to give you just an overview of what you're going to be able to sell. So this is namehero.com. And if I click on just the Get Started here on our main page, you're going to see our web hosting packages that we offer to customers around the world. So you as a reseller, you're going to be able to offer these same type of packages to your customers. And so whether you're starting a new business to make money online, or you already have a current business, perhaps you're already in website design or WordPress development and you have customers and you're looking to make additional revenue from them, web hosting is a great way. Now at NameHero, we're a little bit more unique than some of the web hosts out there, as we offer a high-speed cloud infrastructure. And if you go back and look on Darrell's videos, he's done some speed tests and comparisons with NameHero versus other hosts out there. And so that's really important to understand that the product, the packages that you're going to be reselling to customers is a lot different than the other hosting providers out there. So it gives you a huge competitive advantage. And at NameHero, we don't like to overcharge for hosting packages. So, with our reseller accounts that you should have set up by now, if you're at this point in the video, you're able to resell our packages, set your own prices, for these flat rates here. So, based on how much space you purchase, which I recommend the Platinum package because it gives you 150 gigabytes of space to resell, you can set that at whatever the cost is for your customer, and the ROI can become tremendous. At NameHero, we also allow you to oversell your space, which means this is actually the space that you're using. So you can sell, over 150 gigabytes. You're only billed on what you're actually using, and this makes it extremely easy to be able to upgrade. So, if you're just starting your hosting company, you're using, 0. Now, as you start to add customers, your usage will increase, but you should have a fair amount of customers by the time you reach this 150 gigabyte, and that's why we allow you to oversell it. Since we are on the cloud, once you get to that point, you can easily upgrade to the Diamond, and we can go even further than that if needed. So we can, of course, help you once you continue to grow. Okay, so now that you understand here, NameHero, what the services that you're going to be able to resell, I want to dive into your WordPress website and talk a little bit about that infrastructure, and then we're going to head right into WHMCS and get into all the nitty-gritty of setting up your actual packages. So the first thing I want you to do inside of WordPress, and it's just one step, and then we'll head back over to WHMCS. I want you to go over to my blog dashboard, the back end here. I want you to go to Settings, and I want you to go to, Users, All Users, and your admin user. So the first thing that's very important is with this incorporation of WordPress and WHMCS, you want it to be extremely secure. As you add customers, as your business becomes popular, unfortunately, there's evildoers out there that will try to get into your system. And since WHMCS and WordPress are working together here, you have to keep both really secure. So what I want you to do is, I want you to double check your admin user to make sure that it's using a strong user, a strong password. So you can see if you made it admin, you cannot change the username on this page. I do recommend, if you haven't installed it yet, just use something different than admin, because that's a lot of people try to use that when they try to get in. But nonetheless, go over to, and this is passwordgenerator.net, or you can just make up a random one. I like to use this because I'm a little bit lazy, and generate a completely random password. I'm going to copy it. and I'm going to go down here and change it. Actually, I can generate one here if I want. That works just as well. But you want to copy and save this, so you don't lose it. So I'm just going to update it here. And I've got a document here above my head here, so I'm going to just paste it in there so I have it for usage. And you may be saying, Ryan, why are you going, on the security? Because this is the first step that is so important that we've seen customers over the years that they, don't take this serious from the beginning. And of course, at first, it doesn't make a big difference because your site's new. But as you grow, as you get customers, people are going, unfortunately, there's evildoers out there. And so you want to keep it to where you can just get into WordPress, where you can just get into WHMCS. So that's our first step that we're doing in WordPress, and actually only step we're going to do in WordPress at this time. Next, we're going to head over to WHMCS. Okay, so let's get started here as well. We're going to log in with the credentials that Darrel set up during the install. So you'll see me keep looking up because I've got another monitor above me that has my login stored. Darrel03 and our password. Okay. So if you've already installed WHMCS, it's likely you've seen this screen before. But I'm going to begin to walk you through this setup wizard to get you familiar with WHMCS, because I want to show you, and I'm going to specifically address how to create your own hosting packages like we have here at NameHero, to where you can insert these onto your newly made website. So you'll be able to offer your own version of like a starter, cloud, plus, turbo, or business. And you can customize all of this. You can customize the space you allow the users to use, the features they have, as well as your prices and names. Everything's white labeled and unique to your business. So let's go back to WHMCS. So this getting started wizard, it's just helps you go through the process simple and integrate your hosting account with it. So I'm gonna click next. Okay, so this just defaults to NameHero. So inside of here, you want to put your actual company's name. So Darrel used WHMCS web hosting. So that's going to be our example one here. Now you can change all of this later. So I'm just going to walk you through how you initially do it, but you can always change this later if you decide to change your name or whatnot. Okay, so we're just going to use this as our company name. If you have a logo made, you can upload it from your computer. So if you have a specific logo, for example, NameHero, you can see our logo here. With your existing site that Darrel helped you build, you can see it's kind of got one with it already. I'm assuming you probably want to change it to make it unique, but once you do that, you could take this file, save it to your computer, and upload it to WHMCS. But again, you can do that later, so there's no rush to do that. Next, you have your email address. So this is important. You need a generic kind of catch-all email address for WHMCS, because as you get customers, the system, WHMCS, is going to send them automated emails. So when they have an invoice due or when they make a payment, and it's good to have access to this email account so you can address questions. If someone has an invoice and they reply back and they ask, what the invoice is for, and if they have questions on it and you don't have access to this, then it gets, a little confusing. So I'm going to go back into NameHero. So I'm going to log in really quick with the credentials that Darrel set up. And we're just going to set up this a catch-all email address. It's very simple to do, but this should be a unique one. I don't really recommend using your personal email address for this. You want to use it at your domain, and you want it to be a new email because it could get overwhelming, especially as you get a lot of customers. So I just logged into the NameHero client interface, and I'm going to click here to navigate to my reseller package, and I'm going to click Login to cPanel. Okay, so from here, I'm just going to type in email. You can just start to type it, and you'll notice email accounts comes up. All right, and we're going to go over here to create. And I just want to type in billing because that's the one I'm going to use. I think billing at your domain would be a sufficient one. You can make it contact or whatnot, whatever makes sense for you. It doesn't matter as long as it's not being used already. Once again, generate a strong password. And make it unique. Every one of your username and password should be unique. Ideally, you should be using a password manager, LastPass, 1Password, NordPass, to store all of these securely. We see so many customers at NameHero, they get into trouble because they're using the same username and password for every account. And all it takes is one breach and they have access to everything. So it's important to please make everything unique, every login unique. So I've got my little document here for this tutorial, and I'm just going to note this in my document, all these logins. So I've got them. Okay. Storage space, this is the amount of space the email account can use. Once it reaches this, it won't be able to send any more emails. So you want to make sure this is set high, but it's also important to actually have a cap on this, just because you don't want it to eat up all your space, and also motivates you to clean up some emails. So 1024 megabytes is a gig, and that should be plenty. Click create. Whoops, okay, it needs a stronger password, so let's change it here. See, if your password's not strong enough, our system will surely let you know. And that's because, we want to keep your account safe. We want to make sure that you have everything set up the correct way, from the beginning, and that includes having strong users and passes. Okay, so now I've created my generic catch-all email account, and I can go back to WHMCS, and it's already defaulted in here. Now I could, of course, change this. If I wanted to call it something different, I would just edit it here. Address goes here. So you would just type in, this is your billing address that's going to be shown at the top of your invoices. So if you already have a company formed, this would be that physical address of that. If you don't yet, you can always add this in later. I personally probably wouldn't recommend putting your home email address or your home physical address on there, just for privacy and security. So this, I recommend being a physical address to a business location, or some type of location that you could receive mail at. All right, I'm in the United States, so I keep that. WHMCS comes in many different languages. So if you speak another language than English, you'll see that it's pre-packaged with Arabic, Spanish. So whatever language you speak, there's a chance that WHMCS has it already installed. I speak English, so we'll go with that. Okay, so next up is payments. So with the WHMCS, it allows customers to come to your website, purchase hosting, and it deploys it automatically. So it actually takes care of accepting the payments for you, so you don't have to manually send out invoices. PayPal is by far the easiest way to begin accepting payments. All you have to do is make sure this is checked, and it's checked by default. Enter in your PayPal email address to begin accepting payments. Now, if this is a new business, or even maybe you have an existing business and already have a PayPal, you could use your existing PayPal email account here. If it's a new business, then you could just use the email address we just created. So I could use billing@WHMCS.webhosting.com. And when I receive my first payment, when I get my first paying customer, I'll get an email at this address with instructions on how to do everything else, on how to set up my PayPal account. So essentially, PayPal makes it so easy to get started, because you just have to put in either your current PayPal address or a new address, and it'll show you what to do after that when you get your first payment. So super easy, and you can see it states that here. Next, you can accept credit cards. This is actually a promotion with WHMCS and EV. I don't recommend that one because I've never used it, so I'm going to tick that off. You can also use payment processors such as Stripe. So if you don't want to use PayPal, or you want to use PayPal and Stripe, those are two that I recommend. I'll show you how to do that a little bit later in this tutorial, how to set up Stripe, but we're not going to use this default one. Mail-in payment, if you want to allow your customers the ability to mail you a check or payment, this is good if you're targeting a local audience. If you're creating web hosting or allowing customers in your local area to send you payment. I personally don't recommend it for global businesses. So here at NameHero, we do not accept a mail-in payment. Most people, they want it instant, and nowadays you can send e-checks with PayPal. So I don't use this, but it might be applicable to your business. Okay, domain reselling. So if we go back to your website here that Darrel's helped you set up, if you click on domain, you can see that you can offer your customers the ability to register a domain. So essentially you can become like GoDaddy, where you can offer your customers the ability to register new domains and transfer existing domains in. And you do this by setting up a domain reseller account. So within WHMCS, you can set up a complimentary eNom reseller account to where you actually pay them a price for domains, and then you resell them for a higher price, and you make what's called a margin, a profit margin. So this just allows you to say, yes, I want to do it. Click enable, and then you set up just some basic TLDs by default. So .com, .net, .org, .biz, .info. These are probably the most popular ones, but if you've ever bought a domain before, you know there's tons of TLDs out there, but these will at least get you started. And this is just the base price that you're going to be reselling for. I think the default eNom is about $11, $11.95 a year for a .com. So if you sell at 14, you're going to be making about $3 per domain. If you wanted to raise that up just a little bit, you know, you could increase your profit margin. So, you know, you can always change this later, but I always recommend setting it a little higher than what you're paying, obviously, so you're making a profit. Okay, and we're going to want to enable this account, so we'll make sure this is checked and click Next. Okay, so in order for us to create this, we have to enter in our information to set this up, you know, to actually create the eNom account. So I want to do that. So and I'm going to use my email address I just created. Enter address. Enter phone number. All right, I've got my document above here where I'm storing my logins for this tutorial. And I'm just typing up a random password right now to put in here as well. All right, so I just created a username and password in my document. And again, all my logins are unique. Please make sure that's important, that all your logins are unique to everything you do, because that's going to keep your site safe and secure and online. So I put my username and password, and you have to put a security question here. So favorite pet, mine's a dog. And click Next. Okay, so this actually is going to take your information you just input, and it's piping it over to eNom to create that free account for you. And again, you have to do this step if you're wanting to resell domains, if you're wanting to be able to offer that functionality to your customers, which I'm assuming that you want to do that. Okay, so now that's done. So now we've got our next step here, and we want to set up our actual server that we're going to be deploying our accounts on. So I'm going to head over here to NameHero. So you want to make sure that you're logged in, and on this main dashboard page of your package, we're going to need some information off of this. The first thing is the server name. So depending on where your package was deployed, this is going to be different. So don't just copy from my tutorial here. Make sure you look and get the server name for your package. It might be the same, but chances are it's probably going to be different depending on what server it was deployed on. Now, this is completely white labeled. Your customers will see this, but it does not say NameHero, as you can see. delta.cloudrack.com. If you go to it, there's nothing there. If you go to cloudrack.com, there's no site there, nothing that says you're a reseller, or nothing that leads back to NameHero. So it's a fully white labeled for you, but we have to have a name for the server in order for WHMCS to function. So let's head back over to here. So we need to enter that here. All right, and so now I need to get my username and password for my reseller account. And so if I scroll down here, I can find these under login details. Now you're going to notice if you do not have two-factor authentication enabled, you'll have to click this to actually be able to see them inside of your user interface. So you can click here, and you can set up two-factor to do that. Now, if you say, Ryan, that's too big of a hassle, I'm saying, well, it's recommended for your security that you do enable that, and then you can see that in your interface. It also came in your welcome email. So if I go to email history, and I go to reseller account information, and click view message, I can scroll down, and I also have this information right here. Now again, it's important, I'm going to change all these passwords after this video, but it's important that you have this and it's unique and it's also strong, because remember, this is what's going to connect your customers to the server. So I paste my username here and my password. All right, now I'm going to verify the connection. All right, connection successful. The remaining details have been populated for you. Okay, so really quick, this just identifies the name of the server, which is Delta, the IP address automatically imports, as well as your name servers. So it puts everything in here for you. Click Next. Okay, next you have the opportunity to use what they call Market Connect to be able to offer upsells and add-ons to your customers. So this can be stuff like SSL certificates, the Weebly website builder, I think this is an email spam service, CodeGuard backups, and SiteLock. So these are upsells that you can add, and you can click Learn More to go through each one. These are super easy to set up, but I'll show you a little bit later on how to add these. You don't have to necessarily do these right now. Click Next. Okay, now setup is complete. We're ready to begin using WHMCS. So this is an easy step, but it's also a very important step that you did this and completed this. Just to kind of recap what we did is we first went into WordPress, we did our security deal, we logged into WHMCS, and we loaded up this Getting Started wizard, and we just completed this step by step to make sure that WHMCS is ready from the get-go with all of our information, so we can begin setting up our own packages and our own prices and our domains and all of that good stuff. It keeps it all in one place. Now, if you accidentally close that out, you can always get back to it by logging into your WHMCS admin, going to Help, and clicking Setup Wizard. See, brings it right back up here. So you can see this will actually take me back through it again, but it automatically populates what I've already inserted. So if you miss something or want to change something or need to go back, you can always go back to it that way. All right, after we finish the setup wizard, there's one more step that we need to go do in the NameHero client interface. And this is an optional step, but if it's me, I personally recommend doing it. And I think you'll see what I mean here in just a second. So we want to head back over here to the client area of NameHero. And again, you just log into your account at NameHero and click on Cloud Web Hosting. And we click on our reseller package. And this next step is setting up our private name servers. So name servers, this is what connects domains to hosting. So this allows you to have your domain at GoDaddy and your hosting at NameHero. All you have to do is point the name servers at GoDaddy using these, and then it's connected to the hosting. Now, when you're offering reseller hosting and when you're selling web hosting, your customers are going to need to be able to connect to your hosting. And white label private name servers, this allows them to use like NS1 at your domain and NS2.yourdomain to connect their website to it. And so it looks a lot more professional. You can use ours, which are right here, and these are also white labeled. So it's just NS85.cloudracked and NS86.cloudracked, which these can change depending on your reseller package. But it looks a lot more professional just to have your own domain. So if you want to use ours, you can. They're already set up for you. But if you want to use yours, it's super easy. We just need to first go into Domains and My Domains and click on our domain here. Now, it's important to note as I do this, if you did not register your domain with us at NameHero, that's fine. You can have your domain registered wherever, but you'll need to log into their interface and complete this one step we're about to do. So if your name's registered at GoDaddy or Namecheap, you need to go into their system and actually complete this step. Since we do have it registered at NameHero, that's how I'm going to do it here. And unfortunately, our team can't log into your accounts here and there. So in my opinion, it's easier to have your name with us here at NameHero because we can actually do this step for you if you need us to. But I'm going to click on private name servers. And I'm going to go back over just to this page. And I need to copy these IP addresses. So I need to copy this one, go back over here, and I need to type in NS1, and paste the IP, and click Save. So this just registers the name server with the domain. And then we're going to go grab the second one. So this just associates these with your actual domain. And again, it's got to be done wherever the domain was registered. So if it was at NameHero, it's right inside of our interface. I know some companies make this a little bit more complicated than it needs to be. Okay, so I went ahead and just registered those. If I click on name servers now, I can actually use these for my domain if I want. See, right now, by default, I'm using the default NameHero ones, which again, these are white labeled. They won't trace back to NameHero, but I could actually use my own if I wanted to at this point. Now, whenever you change your name servers, you have this period of DNS propagation, which in plain English makes it seem like that the server's offline for a little bit until those DNS servers kick in. It takes normally about an hour, sometimes a little bit longer, depending on where you're located. So I'm not going to mess with mine right now. I always recommend to customers, if you change your name servers, do it late at night, do it on a weekend, do it when it does not, affect anything. All right, so I'm gonna go back over to here. And next, I have to take these newly registered name servers and make one change into Web Host Manager. So under Actions, I'm going to click on Log into WHM. And this is our first time going into Web Host Manager, but I promise it's not complicated. Web Host Manager, this is your control panel for all of your customers. So as you get customer accounts, they're actually placed inside of here. The cool thing about WHMCS, it does all this for you. So it generates all the stuff you need for you inside of Web Host Manager. So you'll very rarely have to log into here. So it's not an interface you have to become too familiar with because WHMCS does everything for you. I do need to type in DNS and click on Edit DNS Zone. Select my domain and click Edit. And I just need to go down to the bottom here under Add New Entries. And I just need to add those entries for those name servers. So I type in NS1 and I type in NS2. I click in the A, I click the other A, I go back to here, and I just copy and paste these IPs. And once again, if this step scares you, don't worry about it. It's not a necessity. It's just, it looks more professional to have private name servers, but it's not a 100% requirement. So again, if that, makes you nervous, don't worry about it. You don't have to, it's not an absolute requirement, but it certainly just does give your customers that confidence that you are their web host. And it also helps in some of your marketing because if someone looks up, one of your customers' websites or domains, it shows your name servers in that record. Okay, done. So it's saved and we can exit out of here for right now. All right, so our private name servers have been set up and we can head back over into here. Okay, so now with our private name server set up, we've got our PayPal set up, we've got our Enom account set up, and we've got our account set up to our hosting, to our reseller hosting. The next step is for us to to create some packages that we're going to be reselling and then to actually implement them on our website. And so for example, if I go back over here, you'll notice on your site that you've built with Darrel, Google's being a little slow on the internet today. You can see this is where your plans are. And I'm going to show you how to create your own packages to insert them in here. And so if we remember NameHero, you can look at ours right here. So, when people come to NameHero to buy hosting, they have 4 choices. Your default here, I think there's, 3 places for packages, but you can always add more or less. I think 3 is really a good number. At NameHero, we started off with 3, but ended up getting 4 just based on demand. But I think starting off with 3 packages is good. So I'm just pulling this up for reference, and we'll go back into here, and we're going to go to Setup. And if you just click the Setup, click the tab, you can see that WHMCS kind of has a rolling checklist of stuff that needs to be done to set up. So this is like we did the help wizard or the setup wizard, but this is like an additional one. And you can see the 5 tasks completed, but there's still several that's not. One was that logo that we have not yet uploaded, and I'll show you before we complete this video on how you go back and add that later. But the credit card payments, we'll get to that. But next, we want to create our actual package, so our first product. So we'll go to here and just create your first product. Okay, so this is where we add our products inside of WHMCS. Another way to get to this screen is just to go to Setup, Products and Services, and click on there. So there's several different ways in WHMCS to get the stuff, but I try to show you the simplest way so you can easily follow this tutorial. Okay, so the first thing we need to do, you can see before we can create a product, is we have to create a group. So groups are useful if you're offering different types of hosting. So for example, at NameHero, we offer web hosting, reseller hosting, VPS hosting, cloud dedicated. So you're probably wondering well, Ryan, what am I going to offer? You're going to be offering just basic web hosting. Our NameHero reseller accounts allow you to sell web hosting packages like these. So essentially it's shared hosting, but it's shared cloud hosting. So we're going to want to create a group to reflect that. So our product group name, you'd want it something, it can be just plain web hosting. If we wanted to make it a little unique, we could say cloud web hosting. We could call it shared hosting. Shared hosting is kind of an old term nowadays. We could even call it WordPress hosting. So, you can name it, whatever works best for your business and however you're displaying the packages to your customers or to your audience. But it's just important that you do have a product group name because you can't add a product without it. Okay, you have the option to add a group headline, and this is just purely cosmetic. This doesn't affect anything. So you can see the examples like select your perfect plan. I wouldn't even worry about adding it unless you have something specific. And then a tagline, just adds a cosmetic display to the actual WHMCS website that it deploys for you. So you can add this if you want. I'm just going to skip over it because I don't feel it's all that important since you have an awesome template already set up and installed. Okay, so your order form template. So this is the template that WHMCS will use when customers are adding their package to their cart. And you can see there's several of them in here. I just start off with the default and then we'll take a look at it and we can always go back and change it later. In initial setup, don't worry so much about the design and stuff. You're going to get that done and completed, but it's best to get the products actually in the system and set up so you can get customers up and going a lot quicker. Okay, we're going to select our payment gateway. If you remember, we set up PayPal already. That was what we did in that setup wizard. PayPal is by far the easiest, and in my opinion, it's one of the best providers out there. It integrates super nice with WHMCS, and it automatically will create a new PayPal account for you and your new website here you've set up with WHMCS. So if you're not in a region without PayPal, so if your region doesn't accept PayPal out of the United States, I'm going to show you how to add additional payment gateways a little bit later in this tutorial. But I think PayPal is the best one to get started. It's certainly the easiest. I'll click Save. Okay, so now we have our group, and now we have to create our product for the group. So I'm going to go to Create a New Product, and you can see I've got a product type. So WHMCS, it takes the work out of this for you. It allows you to point and click on what your group is about or what your product's about, and this defines all kinds of emails and settings for the system so you don't have to go do it. So as I mentioned, you're going to be reselling shared hosting, so that's what you want to keep it on. Now, reseller hosting, a server VPS, or other products and services, you would use these and you can customize based off of that. But if you want to resell reseller hosting, this requires you to have a different service than just a standard reseller account. And the same with a server, VPS, and then other would be your own services. So make sure you're selecting shared hosting. Okay, so we got our group. We only have one set. Product name. So if I go back to my example site, you can see this template has personal, enterprise, or business. So just to keep everyone on the same page, I'm going to use these names here. Feel free to customize or change these to whatever's best for your business. But I'm just going to do this so we kind of stay simple. So personal. Module. So this is the module that automates it. That automatically, when someone comes to your site and buys the package, that it actually sets it up. So we'll click this drop down and we want to select cPanel. It's at the very top. And that's because that's what we use here at NameHero on your reseller account, is you use cPanel to deploy the hosting packages. Create as hidden. So this is useful if you're creating a new product and your website's already live, so your audience doesn't see it right off the bat, because when you first create it, you probably don't have it set up and ready to go live. Now, since our website's new, we can click off because we want it to be visible immediately. Click continue. Okay, so now our product has been created, but we have to configure it really quick. And this is, again, not hard to do, but we have to go through and we have to define in WHMCS what makes this package unique. So if we go over here and look at our example site, you can see all of this, all the features here are just the same. So we need to make each package unique to provide the user or our customers options to start out, at a budget and then upgrade as they move along. So let's go to NameHero. So you'll notice at NameHero, we have our starter and then we go all the way up to our business. And each one of these has a different set of features which allows customers to choose, which one is best for them. Now, mainly at NameHero, our main difference is the amount of RAM that these packages have, how many visitors can each package sustain, and how many websites can each one of these host. So if a customer just wants to host one website, they would choose the starter cloud because it allows hosting for one website. And the plus 6, the Turbo and Business can host unlimited websites. So this is for those that are on a budget and they need an affordable way to get started, but those that have more popular sites and are going to use more resources, they're going to pay a little bit more. And the same with the RAM. They'll start at the smaller, and as the more popular website they have, they increase it just a little bit more. Now, as a reseller, your RAM is all going to be pretty much standard, but you're going to be able to define how many websites they can host, how much space that each package can have, and also how much of these different features can they have. So if we go back to here and look, you can see like on this example, it's like one domain hosting for one site. And again, this is all copy and pasted. But I recommend that your personal or your startup just has hosting for one website. Just start that off. Have an entry-level package and then have upgrades as your customer moves along. What you'll find and what we find at NameHero, most of our customers, they start off with the one that allows for 6 sites, the plus, because most people, if they need hosting for one site, it's likely later on they're going to need hosting for another. And so it only makes sense to pay just a couple dollars more a month to have that option versus having to go back in and upgrade later. So, I trust that's going to be the same with your business. Most people, they don't want just the bare bones package. They want a little bit more, but they still need that option, or you still need that option to give those on a really tight budget the option. So we'll go back into here, and you can use HTML to put the list of stuff in here. And if that's complicated for you, don't worry, it's not. You can just copy and paste this. This just creates a new line, and this is just strictly cosmetic as well. So I'm just copying this. Okay, so hosting for one website, and then we want to assign an amount of space for each account or each package. So this is how big the website can be. How much resources can the website use on the package? And again, start small, so the smaller websites are more affordable, and as a larger business or website comes in, they have to pay more for the next package. I think 10 gigabytes of storage is a good starting place for a personal website. I think the average website's probably around 3 gigabytes, and that's even a little bit on the high end. So 10 gigabytes really is more than most people are going to need. But still, kind of giving that extra cushion, and that should help you, attract some eyeballs. Now, at NameHero, remember, you're reselling our same premium infrastructure. And so one important thing to mention about storage is we use SSD RAID 10, which is popular for those that know what it means. It's basically a type of drive that's a lot faster than a traditional hard drive, but it's also a lot more expensive. So just imagine a Mercedes versus a Honda, and they're going to race, or a big sports car and just a minivan. That's kind of the difference here. It's a premium, it's a luxury. So adding that extra thing on there allows people to know that they're getting a high quality infrastructure. We're not selling just a bulk discounted hosting package to you. You're actually reselling a managed infrastructure. So your customers will love that. And the way you explain it is it's a lot faster. You compare the Honda to the Mercedes or the sports car to the minivan. An SSD drive is what they need to be using. Okay, so we can define that. And then we can say 5 email accounts. And we can put our break rule for our new line. Okay, so what we're trying to do now is we're trying to just give some options so the user can start small and then they can grow. I think the number of websites they can host is by far the most popular. Next, the amount of space is probably also the most popular, and then followed by how many email accounts they can set up. If it's a business, they obviously want a lot more than 5, but a personal website, 5 is probably good. And then the final thing is, how many subdomains. So maybe you could do like 5 subdomains. You can do break rule here. Okay, so as we type these out, next we need to begin creating these in Web Host Manager. Now, if you remember, I just used Web Host Manager a few minutes ago to make that change for my private name servers, but I actually need to add this package inside Web Host Manager because I need to link them together. So I go back to NameHero and go back to my dashboard here. And I click Login to WHM. And again, this is just initial setup. Once you're done with this initial setup, you'll very rarely log into this. But WHMCS, again, it automates Web Host Manager for you. And so that's why when Darrel was showing you how to set up your reseller account, he said that the first one's not going to work because it doesn't have WHMCS, and that's absolutely correct. It just has Web Host Manager, so you have to manually set every account up, which, gosh, that'd take forever. So WHMCS saves you the time, keeps it simple, but you do have to initially set it up so they link. So at the top, I'm going to type in package, or just start typing in pack, and I'm going to click add a package. Okay, so this is just where I'm going to make the correlation to what I'm creating in WHMCS. So this one's called the personal. So I can just start, and I like to do these simultaneously because I can just copy and paste. As I mentioned a little earlier, I'm lazy, so less typing, right? Okay, so disk quota, so this is in megabytes. So remember we said 10 gigabytes. So that's actually 10,000 megabytes. So 10,000 megabytes. Bandwidth. So nowadays, most hosts offer unmetered bandwidth because bandwidth's pretty cheap, and most people aren't trying to stream a huge website, on shared hosting. Nowadays, they'll use YouTube to stream videos, or Vimeo, or whatnot, or Facebook. So bandwidth isn't really a big upsell anymore, and so most hosts just call it unlimited. Now, if you want to have some limits, you can. We could put like 500 megabytes a month, especially on our personal package. Add that in here. And again, bandwidth is, I misspelled that, I'll fix it. Bandwidth is the amount of transfer that a website's using. So the more traffic, the more website visitors it gets, the more bandwidth it's going to use. The more media files, the more pictures, the more bandwidth it's going to use. Therefore, your personal site is going to use a whole lot less than your business site that has an e-commerce store or a WooCommerce WordPress site set up to resell or sell all their products. So we can put that bandwidth cap on this one, and we can go back into here, and we've got 100 or 500 megabytes. Max FTP accounts, you can limit, that's the number of accounts they can have to FTP into their site. Nowadays that's really irrelevant. I like to say unlimited. Max email accounts, can be a big one, and we said 5. Max quota per email address. If you remember at the start of this video when we set up our catch-all account, I said it's a good idea to have a quota on new email accounts so one doesn't just fill up with a bunch of emails. So you can do this by default. Set a hard cap to where a user can't use 5 gigabytes of space in email account usage. So, this is a good option here to enable just to keep your space from being filled up by a customer that doesn't empty their spam box. So, use that if you want, but it is a good option to keep your web space clean. Max email list, databases, and subdomains. Nowadays, most companies, they don't use the email list in cPanel, so you can just say unlimited or even 0. Max databases. WordPress needs a database. So if your customer plans on installing WordPress, they're going to need at least one database. At WHMCS uses a database, so C2. So right now, you're already using 2 on your site. So think about that when your customer comes on. How many databases might they need for their site? So you could say maybe 5. And we go over here and we could say and again, just another option. to upsell them into the next package. The bigger the site, the more complex the application, the more databases they might need. Subdomains, I like to say just, well, on the first one, 5 is good, but unlimited on the rest. Subdomains just allows users to have like billing.theirdomain.com or blog.theirdomain.com. It just allows them to have, kind of sectionalized parts of their site, especially if they're really big. They're not near as popular as they used to be 10 years ago, but it's also an option to, give your customers. Maxed park domains. A park domain's a domain that is parked on top of the original domain, and it points it to it as what's called a vhost. Now it sounds really complicated. All right, we have namehero.com. Let's say we have namehero.net, but we want it to point to namehero.com. That would be a parked domain. So essentially a domain that cannot have content, but it just points to an existing one. You can set this as unlimited or 0. I think for your personal, 0 is fine. Max add-on domains. So this is a really big one. This is the one that defines how many extra websites they can host in the account, hence add-on domain. So remember, we said this is going to be hosting for one website. So it's very important that we make this 0 because it's only will allow the one website and not more. Now, of course, when we create our next package, we're going to add some of those. So I'll display how. Max email relayers and percentage of failed. These are static. You cannot change these because these are for the NameHero abuse team to edit. Basically, how many emails the customer can send out per hour. We can increase this for your customer if they need it increased, but there is a process and you need to reach out to our compliance team to do that. But don't worry about that here during your initial setup. Okay, settings. You have a couple options here. Dedicated IP. When you're a reseller, you actually have to reach out to NameHero if you want to offer your customers this. It's not needed really much nowadays, so you're probably not going to even need this anyways. But if you want to, you have to reach out to have this added per customer as they order one. Shell access, we can enable shell access, but once again, you have to reach out to have that enabled. So that's why those options are blocked off. CGI, keep that. Digest, authentication, and account creation, you can leave that. cPanel theme. So there's only one theme for cPanel, Paper Lantern, so keep that. Feature list. So feature list is interesting. If I go over here to where I had my pack, and I'm going to open this in a new window because I haven't saved yet. The feature list is what allows you to give specific features to each control panel that's deployed. So let me give you an example here. If I click log into cPanel, you're going to notice all these different features that you have at your own account here at NameHero. Now, when you're reselling to customers, you're going to give them their own control panel. So you can limit all of these options. And so these can be fantastic opportunities to upsell users. For example, Jet Backups. At NameHero, we provide you and your customers complimentary weekly and nightly backups. But if you want your customer to be on a more premium package to access these, then you could simply eliminate them in the feature manager. So I'll show you how. What I do here is I would create a new feature list, and I would just call this the personal feature list. And inside of it, we're going to enable everything at first, everything that we can. Disabled means it's disabled at the server level, so it's no longer in use. And we'll go down here, and you can see each one of these options. You can go into cPanel and see it. So like Files, File Manager, but Jet Backup is the backups. So we're looking for all of these here because we're not going to give access to our personal package to the Jet Backup service because we're going to use that as an upsell. So I'm just going to click off of here. Everything's enabled but Jet Backup. But you can see now, I'm just doing this as a demonstration. Spend some time in here and you can get very specific about the features that you want to give your customers per package. So, this is, a good opportunity to where you can offer more per account. So save. All right, so now I've got my feature list. And we'll go back to my package here. I've got to save it before I can get access to that feature list. So let's just go ahead and save it. And by the way, you can ignore these settings here because these are already defaulted for you. So there's no need to click on those. They're set up for you already. Okay, success. So let's just go back, click this. And we just want to add that feature manager. So I had a feature list rather. There's my personal and save. All right, so now the package is created inside of Web Host Manager. Let's go back to WHMCS. All right. And so we're good here now. We don't have to, you can add more stuff if you want. You can add every single feature on this, but you don't have to. At NameHero, if you notice ours, we only list like 5 of the top ones. Really show what's different to our next package. But it's up to you, how you want it to display on your site. Okay, welcome email. This is an awesome thing about WHMCS. It already knows you're using cPanel because we told it. It already knows the details because we imported them. And so it's automatically going to send your customers personalized welcome emails. You don't have to type it. It's already set and ready to go. So no change there. Require domain. So this means when a customer buys this package, they have to have a domain name with it. And of course, you want it, that's got to be checked because the customer has to have a domain with their package. Now, if you did not set up your Enom account in our setup wizard, you're going to want to make sure that's set up before you can offer that. So keep that in mind. Stock control, you can keep that disabled. That's if there's a limited number. Tax. Now, I am not a tax attorney or a legal advice or a legal consultant. Some areas you need to apply local tax. So, if you're starting a new business, if you're having your consult with your attorney, which I hope you are, if you're starting a new business, they'll let you know if you need to enable this. WHMCS has it all built in, but I'm not going to because in our region where we're located, we don't have to add on the tax to our products. Featured, this just displays it more predominantly on order forms, just displays the package more. I'm not going to feature this. It's my personal. Hidden, obviously, this just makes it hidden from the order form. And retired, if I no longer use the package, I could retire it. So that doesn't apply either. Okay, I'm going to save it. All right, so the next step is I need to click on pricing. And I need to give it a price because you can see payment type free. We're not offering free hosting. By the way, you're not allowed to offer free hosting at NameHero. So you can't offer your customers free web hosting. That's a violation of our terms of service because what we find a lot of people sign up for free hosting. They're not doing nice things. They're not creating real websites. So keep that in mind. But anyways, other than free, you have one time or recurring. You're going to want to select recurring. See, that's the great thing about the web hosting industry, is your customers are a great source of recurring income for your business. They don't just pay one time and are done. They have to pay each month or each year, every 2 years, every 3 years, or what have you. But it's a service that continues to go on because it's being provided for them each month. So that's the awesome thing about web hosting. Now, we just selected that recurring, and now it gives us these options how to price it. So you can see one time / monthly. Since we selected recurring, this means monthly. We enable it, and then we can set up a setup fee and a price. So if we go back to our site, you can see just for the default template here, it says $2.99 a month. Now, I highly suggest don't cut yourself short. Don't be scared to offer a little bit more expensive hosting than you see out there if you just Google web hosting. Here's the reason for it. You as a reseller, you've got the unique opportunity to present to your customer a lot more better service than a lot of the big brands out there. So use this as an opportunity to also be able to offer your customer, a free consult, a free, website design, or a free website implementation. So if you're going to go really low, I found price is a poor competitive advantage because there's always going to be a host out there cheaper. So, and you can always go back and cut the prices back later, but really changing from a low price to going up, that really doesn't go over too well. So personally, $2.99 seems a little bit low even for the personal. So I'm going to suggest, on the low side too, of $4.95 a month. If you go look here at NameHero, our lowest package is $8.95 a month. Now we have a promotion going right now to where it's cheaper than that for new customers, but by standard $8.95 a month. So don't be scared to go to that price point as well. $8.95 might be a good price point for your business. Actually, we'll start there. I'm just not a huge fan of super discounted hosting. I feel like so many hosts did that in the mid 2000s. They really took the industry in a bad direction because they were overselling and making promises they couldn't fulfill. So don't short sell your services. You're going to be able to resell, or you're reselling a high quality infrastructure using NameHero, and I can promise you your customers are going to be super impressed with our uptime, our performance, our reliability, and our security. So again, don't cut yourself short. Okay, so you also have the option to have your customer pay quarterly. So once every 3 months, once every 6 months, once a year, once every 2 years, or once every 3 years. So this is up to you if you want to offer these. If you're just starting the business, I recommend just starting off billing monthly, because if you collect payment for a year, you better keep your business around for a year. And so sometimes I just caution new resellers, start off monthly, and then you can go back and add this later. You can also discount the rate. If you sign up yearly, you could give them a month free. And that's a good way too to reward your customers that are going to sign up with you for the long term. Allow multiple quantities, you don't want to check that. Recurring cycles limit, don't change that. Auto term or auto terminate, you do not want to do that. Termination email is not applicable. Prorated billing, no, and no, and no. So these options, I just recommend leaving them, as they are. You can go through and, customize or read through specific to your business, but most people want to leave it just like that. Okay, save. Next, we'll go to module settings. Okay, so now a lot of this is pre-populated for us. Module name is cPanel. Server group, I don't have one created, so I don't have to worry about that. Web host manager package name. See, we have personal in here. And this is because we created it in here. So you can see WHMCS is getting this from here, that package we already created just a few minutes ago. So we want to make sure that stays the same. Metric billing, this allows you the ability to bill customers per how much disk they're using or how much bandwidth they're using. We're not going to set that up in this tutorial. We're going to set up a defined hosting package for your customer. This is a newer feature of WHMCS. It is pretty cool, but from my experience, most customers buying hosting, they just want a fixed amount. They don't want to, be surprised each month with their bill. They want to know what their bill is going to be this month and what they're buying. Just my advice. The next step, automatically set up the product as soon as the first payment is received. This is what I recommend. So when your customers come to your website and they place their order and they pay, they get their hosting account immediately. From my experience, nothing makes a customer more mad when they pay and they have to wait for their service. They want it instantly, and that's the purpose of using WHMCS. And so you need to check this option to make that happen. You have options here that set it up as soon as it's placed, but that doesn't collect the payment, so don't choose that option. And then the third one is when you accept it manually, well, they have to wait for you on that. And the next one is don't set it up automatically. You don't want to do that. So option 2 here. Save. Okay, so now our product is added. We have a couple more options in here. I'll briefly highlight over them, but there's nothing else we really need to configure. Custom fields, this if we wanted to add an extra step on the order form for them, you're not going to want to do this. 9 chances out of 10 you're not going to want to, so you can just ignore it. Configurable options, you're not going to have anything configured because you've pre-configured everything for them. So that's an option there for more complicated setups, but don't worry about it. Upgrades. So once we create some other packages, we will add some upgrades because this allows your customer to start off with your personal package and then upgrade to your bigger one later. And so this just tells WHMCS, yes, you can offer this upgrade to my customer inside their client panel. Make it easy for them to upgrade. Free domain. So some customers may have noticed at NameHero, a free domain comes with our services for 2 years or 3 years. So if you order NameHero, if you order our starter cloud for 2 years, you get a free domain. If we go over to here, you can offer this same opportunity or the same promo to your customers, but remember, you still have to pay for the domain on your end. So even though you're using Enom to resell the domain, you still have to pay Enom their fee, and then you charge an upsell, or you charge the customer rate to make your profit margin. So if you give away a free domain, essentially you're taking money out of your pocket, but the incentive is if a customer pays 2 or 3 years, they're going to be loyal to you, so this is an incentive for them to do that. If you want to set that up, this is where you would do it. Most resellers just getting started out don't want to start off with, aggressive promotions like that, so they just simply leave this as none. If it's your first reseller hosting business, your first business, I would probably suggest that as well. You can go back and, create promotions like that later, but that's where it's done. This is for the affiliate program inside of WHMCS. WHMCS has a module to where you can have customers, friends, family sign up as an affiliate, and they'll actually get paid a portion of each sale that they refer to you. So when you set up a product, it says, do you want to include a commission for this product? Use the default, a percentage, a fixed, or no commission. Well, by default, just using default is sufficient. So we'll set up the affiliate program later on inside this tutorial, but using default, that will just use whatever we set up inside the affiliate program, but it allows you to get very specific inside of here. And additionally, these other options here are just for more specific type of setups. You don't have to worry about these. Save changes. And then finally, we have our links. So we're going to go back into WordPress after we add our other products, our other 2 hosting packages, and we're going to take these links and we're going to put them on our website. So when a customer comes to your site and clicks order now, it will take them to WHMCS where they can buy their package. But we're not going to do that just yet. I just wanted to show you where those were. All right, so now let's go back to product list. And you can see we've got our product group and we've got our first product. Now we've got over here, we've got 2 more packages that we're going to set up. And again, you can set up as many hosting packages as you want. I feel like personally 3 is enough to get started. 4 is a good number if you get more specific. But as your business grows, your customers will begin to tell you what they need. I said this recently to one of our employees here at NameHero, one of our superheroes. I said customers will give you all the feedback you need to grow and expand your business. You don't want to overwhelm them at first with 10 hosting packages. Start off with a couple, see which ones get ordered the most, and then develop based off of that. So with that said, we're going to make this a lot easier now. It's not going to be near as long to go back through and add the other 2 packages because we're going to use this duplicate a product feature of WHMCS. So we're going to duplicate the personal package that we just created, and we'll go back here. This is called the enterprise one. And so this should be your middle of the line package. Remember at NameHero, I said that our Plus Cloud was the most popular. This and the Turbo are our middle of the line packages. What we found is most people, they like to stick in the middle because they don't want just a pure basic, but they're also not quite ready for the business. And so based on how many sites they need to host, either 6 or unlimited, they'll normally choose one of these. So most likely this is going to be your most popular package. So just keep that in mind as you create it here. So we'll call it Enterprise. And again, you can name this whatever you want. I'm just calling it Enterprise because it's already named Enterprise here. And I want to make sure that it's easy when we link them up. Click Continue. Okay, see it pre-populates everything that we just entered to make this super easy. Okay, so the big difference, as I said, is how many websites they can host. So our entry level is 1. For the next step up, and again, this is going to be a mid-level package. So it's going to be one that's probably purchased the most. I like 6 at NameHero, but you can change this to 10. You could change this to 8, just more than 1 pretty much. So customers have the option to host more than 1 site. You'll see more signups that way for that type of package. Storage, I like to increase in increments of 10. So I think 20 gigabytes is good for our mid-level size package. Space, again, 20 gigabytes is a lot of space. You're going to very rarely have customers that reach all that space. There's so many sites out there that they over-purchase their resources and they don't really know what they want. They're just looking on comparison charts. So I think 20 gigabytes is just fine for mid-level. And I like to increase in 10 gigabyte increments or even 5 gigabyte increments, depending on if you have that 4 or 5 different packages. Bandwidth. So what you could do here is you could just say unmetered. And for email accounts, we could say unlimited. Subdomains, we could say unlimited. And MySQL. Limited. So see what we did here is since we're creating a mid-level package, we increased the amount of websites they could host, we gave them double the space, and then we made everything else unlimited. So this is really going to draw the customer towards this package. It's going to be our sweet spot. That's what our goal is here. Now we need to go back to Web Host Manager, and we have to create the package in here too. So add a package, and I like to copy and paste, so go back in here. Paste, daily disk quota. Now remember, this is in megabytes, so that's why we have to add 3 zeros after the 20. So that's 20 gigabyte is 20,000 megabytes. Monthly bandwidth, we're just going to, actually we need to type in an integer here. 9999999. Okay, let me tell you why this is important. So when you bought your reseller package from us at NameHero, if I go to reseller, you can see that each package has an allotment of bandwidth. And so we allow you to oversell, but you're only billed for what you actually use. So if you do reach, this is 1,000 gigabytes or 1 terabyte have you, per month. If you reach this number, then you would need to upgrade to the Diamond or buy another reseller package. So when we go over to here, and we're allowing the customer to have unmetered, if they use something crazy, then we might have to cap them. Most of the time, it's not the case. But because we allow you to oversell your resources, you just have to enter an integer in here. So just a random number that's really high, so it will give them the unlimited. So that's why that's important to do. So it allows you to actually oversell, only bill for what you're using. Okay, max FTP and email. Remember we said that's going to be unlimited. We're going to be unlimited here. We can make these unlimited here too. All right, add-on domains. So we said 8. And so again, this is the number of websites they can host on their account. So they've got their, actually, it'd be 8 total add-on domains. So this is a huge selling feature, most of the time more so than space, because people aren't so much concerned about space as how many sites can they go put on it, and I'd even say cram on it as a less polite term. But so make sure you set that properly. All right, so we're just going to use the defaults on these. And feature list. So this, the personal, remember we had a custom one with no backups. So we're going to go here and we want to make sure that we put this somewhere. Let's put it towards the top. See what we did here? So I put an exclamation point to kind of help that stand out. So this, our money package, the one in the middle, the one we're trying to draw customers towards, we're going to offer the backups. So when we go in here, we're going to add that feature list that includes the backups, which is just the default. So remember, we created the personal to disable backups. All right, we'll leave everything else default and click add. All right, so now that package is added, and we can go back in here and finish. All right, so all the changes we need to make in there. Now you can also use HTML to highlight specific features. I think that daily backups is an important one, so we can just copy and paste that HTML, and this highlights it more so throughout WHMCS, the order flow. If you don't want to mess with it, you don't have to, but it just makes it look a little bit better. All right, all this other stuff we keep default. Save. All right, and then we head to the pricing. So remember, we did recurring $8.95 for our personal package. Now this is the package that we really want customers to buy. It's an upgrade from it, but it can't be too high, but it can't be too low. Where do we go? So if we look over here, your template here says $7.99. I still think that's a little bit too on the low side. So I would suggest something like $14.95. If I go back to NameHero, you can see web hosting. So our next step's like between 12 and 19. That's really why we have 2, because of the different types of webmasters that might come about to buy this. I feel like that $14.95 is a good level to, 8. So from $8.95, so just a couple more dollars, they're able to get all those added features, and it's really going to draw your audience towards this. I personally even say $19.95 a month would be a good deal on this package. So, use your judgment. You know your audience better than me, of course. If you're going to be offering extra services such as SEO or social media management, absolutely go higher than 14. Don't be scared to go too high on your pricing. You can always come down, but it's harder to go up than it is down. And I've seen far too many resellers come in and they think just because they have the cheapest prices, they're going to be the most popular. From my experience at NameHero, you're going to find that the higher quality customers are willing to pay more, and the higher quality customers are going to actually provide a better experience for you because they're not going to ask as many questions. They're not going to have as many issues. The lower quality customers, while it may seem good to have the volume, you're going to see a lot of issues in that pool because people that can't pay any more than $20 a month for hosting, a lot of times aren't real serious about their websites, and you don't see them. They don't stay on monthly and bill, and they also don't stick with their websites, and they ask a lot of questions and make a lot of requests. So I always like to say to our resellers here at NameHero, look for quality over quantity. I would rather have 100 customers paying $19 a month than 200 customers paying me $5 a month, or however that evens out. But look for quality over quantity. I would rather spend my time in building business with high quality customers that's going to be with me, and don't be scared to price too high. Even if you want to do $19.95, don't be scared of it here. All right, so we can leave everything else default. If you want to add other billing cycles in, you can. But we do need to go to module settings. And you can see this is pre-populating everything from the personal since we duplicated it. But we do have to customize for our enterprise. So again, this is that package we just made over here. If I click Edit Package, you can see I have enterprise and personal. And I select the enterprise. Once again, we don't have to mess with any of this, and we want to make sure that's checked and save. And we didn't make any other changes, so we don't have to edit the other couple tabs. So we just needed the first three just to modify. Go back to products list, and we're going to do our final one. Duplicate a product. We'll grab our name from here, our business package. Enter it here. Click continue. Okay, so our business package. So now we had our entry-level package, we had our mid-level, which is where most people were going to go, and then we have our higher end. So our higher end, these are going to be websites that have more traffic, that have more content, more disk space, and more demands. These aren't going to be as popular, but it is going to be useful service, and you're going to have people that buy it, but these are more serious users about their web space, so you better bet they're going to be using more of this space than someone on the other two packages that we created. So, again, I like to go up in 10 gigabyte increments. You can, make that judgment for yourself. 30 gigabytes is plenty for a shared hosting account. Again, you're allowed to oversell at NameHero. And the reason why I say that, and it's important, because you say, well, Ryan, 30 gigabytes, if my NameHero package only has 150, I can't, actually, let me go back to them. I can't sell more than that. Well, I just told you, you can oversell. So you're only billed on 150 gigabytes. That doesn't mean you can only sell 150 gigabytes worth of packages. And so we allow you to oversell. You're only billed on what's actually used. Now, you're limited per reseller package to the number of customers that you can have per package. So this allows for 80. So you can have up to 80 on the Platinum, and that's perfect to get you started. Once you have 80, you'll be making enough to add another package into your mix and to really get ramped up. And you could even upgrade to the Diamond to have 100 customers on the package. Okay, so let's get back into WHMCS with that said. All right, so now our premium or our business, I like to make that unlimited. Unlimited websites. Whoops. For disk space, we did 30. Bandwidth, we're going to say unmetered. Unlimited. I really should be copy and pasting right now. I've got a really loud keyboard, and you can get quite the nerve pincher. All right, so unlimited features. 30 gigabyte space, unlimited websites. Now remember, we have to go to Web Host Manager, add it in here. It's called our business. Our disk quota was 30 gigabytes, which is 30,000 megabytes. Remember, it's a 30 with 3 zeros. Our bandwidth's unmetered, but we have to have that integer. FTP unlimited, email unlimited. We can keep this unlimited, 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 unlimited. And remember, we've got the free backups in there too. So don't forget to add that over here. Actually, let's put it right here. All right. And we'll save it. All right. Now let's go to our pricing. Okay, now in your higher end package, this is where, if someone's going to more higher end, they're most likely an established website, an established business. And so this is also the opportunity for you, the reseller, to make a little bit more. So we could say on this one, we might have a setup fee. So let's say the setup fee is $9.95. And then the monthly price is, let's just say, I don't know, $29.95 a month. So, we went up on the price. We have a little setup fee here because we know they're they're a user. They're already having a website, and so they're going to spend more time on your platform and using it. You're probably going to spend more time helping them get set up and going, so you can put that on there. If you don't want to do a setup, you obviously don't have to, but it's an option. Save, and we go to module settings. And change this to business and save. All right, congratulations. By now, you should have all of your packages set up. So just to recap, we went in, we started off by setting up our private name servers, and then we went ahead and created our hosting group, our group of our products called WordPress hosting, web hosting, shared hosting, what have you. And then we created the products or the packages that we're going to resell. I think 3 or 4 is a good number. Getting to 5 or 6 gets to be a lot, especially early on. As your business grows, you can always add more later. But we went in and generated these packages in Web Host Manager and WHMCS, but we did them side by side to where we could copy and paste a lot of the stuff in both the tools so they could sync together. All right, so at this point, I want to walk you through your site and just we'll start tying it together a little bit here so you can see the progress that you've made. I'm going to head over here to my just my base website here, and this is the URL that Darrel showed you how to generate in the beginning of it. But if I go back over here and just click Home, I'll head back just to the WordPress main site. So this is whmcswebhosting.com when you land on the site now. Now, what I want to do is I want to tie in these packages that I just created and start putting them on my site. So if I go under hosting, you can see there's several different pages here. And of course, you can set up your site how you feel best for your business, but I'm just going to demonstrate on how we set up the shared hosting, because remember, that's what you're going to be reselling from us here at NameHero. Now, of course, if you want to get into selling these other items, you can, but you have to have a little bit more than a reseller account. So I recommend getting started with the shared hosting, get your business off the ground, get some customers, and then you can start upgrading as you go along. All right, so on the shared hosting page, you see if we go down here, we're going to see these are the packages, and this is just from the template. But what we're going to do is we're going to incorporate the packages we just created in WHMCS into here. So when your customers come to this page, they can begin to order and they can compare your packages. So what I want to do is I'm just going to click on Edit Page.
So you guys are doing very good. Now Ryan's about to jump into the page builder part of this tutorial. Now if you need more practice with this page builder, I have other tutorials in the description below where we cover Elementor and all the pro versions of it as well. It does take time to get used to, but ultimately it's a very simple drag and drop builder. With that said, let's go back to the tutorial.
And I'll click Edit Elementor, and while that loads, I'm going to go back to my main blog site, or my main site, and I'm going to click Order Now, just because I want to go in, I want to show you what they look like. Okay, so you'll notice the URL here at the top is the WHMCS bridge, and that's what connects the two together. So you can see you have a beautiful looking theme, thanks to Darrel, on your WHMCS already. And if I hover over Store, and you'll see now I have this WordPress hosting group, and this is what we created in the last step. So I'm just going to select it, and then I have the packages I just created. Excuse my internet connection, it's lagging for some reason this evening. All right, so I've got my personal, my business, and my enterprise. So what I can do is I can just right click and copy link address and go back into my Elementor and go down here, and where it says order now, I can just click on it and I can put this link there, because you can see this is just a generic URL here. That's not actually yours. So we'll just paste that in there. And we'll go over here to this one. And so this was our mid-level package. Remember, the one that's going to be the most popular is what we're shooting for. Whoops, let's go back over here. So that's going to be our enterprise. Copy that one. Change that URL. Then we'll go back over here. Oops. And we'll grab our business and put that in here. And paste. And then, we can begin to also edit these. This was our, get my product names here so I don't forget. So our personal, our enterprise, and our business, which I guess we kept the same, but we had one domain here, and then this one was, we go back over here, you can see that's why we labeled these here, because it'll show us and it'll show the customers. 8 websites, 1.8, and unlimited, so we can put eight domains. There we go. And I'm not going to spend the time to go through each one of these and bore you through this video, but you can see what I mean. You want to go through and modify each one of these packages, obviously change the dummy text and to meet what you just created. So when customers come to your site, they're actually seeing the packages. But we've got the order links incorporated now. And so we can go down here and we can just save the page. Oops, I'm sorry, here. All right, so now when someone goes to our site, and I'll just go back up here and click home, home, and I go to hosting and shared hosting, I can go down here, and you'll see my packages now, they display our update, and you can see the package we were talking about, our money package. It's nice and pink and it's bright. We'll click order now. And as you can see, so this is what the customer's order flow would look like. And once again, excuse my lagging connection. They're right here to begin ordering their package. So this is your site at this point. It's live and ready to go for this far. And I'm going to show you how to do a lot more too. But I just want to show you what they're going to see. So remember, we set up that domain reseller account so your customers can actually order their own name. They can transfer their existing name, or they can go ahead and use their name they have existed. So, if they don't have a domain, they can use your business now, just like they would at GoDaddy, to register their name. And so I can just type in an example one. So let's just type in Ryan Gray 123. And you can see it's available. So remember, this is the prices. We set up some initial pricing in the beginning, and this is what you're going to be charging the user for the domain. So they could click continue. Once again, I'm sorry I got to kind of put up with my unfortunate internet connection this evening. And I've got a couple more added to here. I was doing just some tests. But they can review their cart and check out, and then they can click checkout. All right. So now you can see your customer can come in here and they can fill out their personal information, fill out their billing address, generate their password, set up their security, and then they can pay. Remember, we just set up PayPal. So once they click complete order, it will then transfer them to PayPal, where they can make their payment with a credit card or their current PayPal account or even an e-check, and then it'll set up this hosting account automatically. So that's what that looks like. Now, I want to go back here really quick into WHMCS, and I just want to show you some additional add-ons that you can do. All right, so if you remember when we set up the initial domains during the setup wizard, we set a base price. So we're going to go to setup and products and services, and we're going to click on domain pricing. And you can see these are the domains that we set up. Now you'll notice each one of these boxes here, and I've been playing with it, but you have the option to offer DNS management, email forwarding, and ID protection. So these are upsells to your domain. So if a user comes and they just want to register a domain with you and not buy hosting, then they might need this DNS management. If they buy hosting, they don't need it because it comes with the hosting. And the same with email forwarding. If they buy hosting from you, they don't need that either. ID protection, though, I highly suggest upselling that because people want that because it actually protects your information from being in a public database. So I recommend at least enabling this one upsell. And the way you're going to route your business is up to you. So if you figure you're going to have a lot of customers that are going to be signing up for just domains, then you might want to consider these other ones as well. But when you add this, you have to set a price. So if we go down here to the bottom, you're going to notice the domain add-ons here. And this is what you're going to charge the user for the year. And I just entered $12.95. But what we need to do is all of these services are provided by Enom, and you got a free account, which I showed you how to set up in the beginning. But let's log in to Enom so we can see what your price is, the wholesale price, so you can make a markup on it and make it accurately. So this is enom.com, and all you do is just use enom.com and use your username and password that you created in the beginning, and you'll be brought to this page. Now from here you'll see reseller quick links, and you can click on manage, actually edit domain pricing, and you can see my cost. So this is what your cost is for all of these TLDs. So you can see it costs you $9.98 a year. So we had set our pricing here and it was just like a default to $16.95. And so we're going to make that profit here off of the $9.98. So a couple bucks, or more than a couple bucks there, like $7 profit, because our cost is only $9.98 a year. So you can set that however lower or higher you want it, but this cost is static, so you can increase it or decrease it right here inside of WHMCS. Now, the same with ID protection. If we're going to offer that as an upsell, you have to remember that that is also a product from Enom. So let's see where it is. ID protection. So your cost is $375 a year. So if we go back to here, you can see I just set it to $12.95. That's probably pretty expensive. Let's just say $8.95, because you want to make sure you're setting your price higher inside of here than what you're paying, because obviously you don't want to lose money. Now, before you can start registering domains on your site, you have to fund the Enom account. They only work on prepaid, and then you can tie your credit card to it later on if you want like post-pay, but you have to fund the account. So if I go to Enom, let's go back to my account, and you'll see the available balance. So need to add funds, refill account. So you'll need to deposit, and I think the minimum's like $25. Yeah, min-max. Yeah, $25 is the minimum, $3,000 is the max. So if you're really brave, put the $3,000. And no, don't do that. It's all sales are final. But $25 will get you started. So you want to make sure you do this, and you can fund it with credit card, PayPal, check, or wire transfer before your website will begin allowing your customers to register their domain. So just keep that step in mind. Because I know we have some customers at NameHero that come over and they're kind of curious as to why their domain registrations fail. Well, if you don't have a balance, then obviously that will not work. So keep that in mind, and that's how you add the upsells. I recommend the ID protection on all of them. If you're not going to be, if you're going to be offering hosting, these other upsells aren't as important, but you can, you could add them if you want, and your customers might buy them. DNS management and email forwarding. I believe if we go back to my reseller pricing, it depends on what type of reseller account they give you here. I know they've changed some stuff over the years, but those might be complementary to you. Let's just look at product pricing and see if it says DNS hosting. Oh no, okay, $4.95 a year. Email forwarding's free. Okay, so there's no cost to you for the email forwarding, so that'd probably be a good idea to add that. And then the DNS management, if you're going to add that, there is a cost to you of $4.95 a year. So you'd want to make sure that it was, if we go down here, we want to obviously set it more than $4. So it's like $6.95, and then email forwarding, you could say, I don't know, $4.95. Safe. So that's just important when you're adding the upsells, and also modifying your domain pricing that you're making a profit and you're not losing money. For example, .net, we set it to 16. If we go back to Enom, back to domain pricing, you can see that your .NET price is $13.50 a year. So you'd be in the safe here. If you want to add a couple more dollars for a .NET, you could. But make sure this is the registration price. So if the user doesn't have a domain, they want to buy it, the transfer price is if they've already registered their domain at GoDaddy or Namecheap or wherever, and they want to transfer it to you, this is what the cost would be. Your cost for a transfer is the same as a register, so you want to keep that the same. And then this is what it renews for. So it's most of the time these are the same. But if you wanted to offer your customers, a promo, hey, register it cheaper, then it renews higher, you could do that here. Close the window. And you can set up all of these TLDs in here. So, as many as you want. Me personally, I'd recommend going with just a couple of the top ones and then, kind of seeing what your audience wants or, what you get asked for. Obviously, if you're in the United States, pick a couple of the US ones. If you're in the UK, pick the UK ones. And whatever your audience is looking for, but there's so many of them, you can spend forever adding these. And I think there are some ways to import this nowadays, but for me, the sure way is just to add them down here. So if I wanted to add one, I would just do it inside of here. All right, so with kind of domain and domain upsells out of the way here, I want to go back to your site and I want to show you something. So this is the WHMCSwebhosting.com. This is our demo domain. If I just click order now, I'm sent over. This then sends me to WHMCS, what we've been working on. And you're going to notice that this CAPTCHA's here. And so this doesn't look too good, right? So someone essentially has to type in their domain and then enter this. So that doesn't really fly, right? Let's go over here to WHMCS and go to Setup and go to General Settings. Then we have to enter our password. Let's see if I can grab mine really quick. Confirm. And we can go to security, the security tab. And you can see here, this is the CAPTCHA. This is where it displays. And so we can deselect domain checker. And then I can save. A CAPTCHA protects forms from submitting it. So basically a bot couldn't get on your page and try to reload it. It's not really that bad for domain checks. People could try to, or spam bots can send client registration stuff. So a good solution is if you do want to use CAPTCHAs, instead of using this default, use the invisible reCAPTCHA from Google. It's 100% free, but if you decide to use it, you do have to go to google.com/reCAPTCHA/admin, and you have to actually put your domain in and get a key from them. So it's 100% free, but you do have to verify that you do own the domain, and they'll give you these keys here. So just an option, but you can turn it off, especially for the time being, while you're building out your site. But when we refresh this page, you'll see that that disappears. See, much cleaner. So now, if I type in Ryan Gray 1 2 3 4 and search, I'll get to see my upsells. Searching, available, add to cart, check out, and there's the ID protection. So see, now the customers can just select this, and you're going to make extra money there. You got an upsell, you're offering them a service that you're getting as well, and continue. And then pay with PayPal. So that's kind of what the flow looks like there. So at this point, we have our packages set up. We have our domain search engine set up. We're able to register domains. Once again, we do have to go fund that enom account. And I showed you kind of how to make it look a little bit prettier with the getting rid of this CAPTCHA here, because gosh, that just doesn't look too good. Now next, you might have the need, if you notice on here, apply promo code. So I know a lot of people like to do that. At NameHero, we're running all kinds of specials for new customers, and it's likely you use one if you signed up with us. So it's worth showing how to do that. If you go to Setup and Products and Services, let's go to Products. You'll notice here on the left, the Promotions tab. But this is where you do that right here. And you just click Create New Promotion, and you can auto-generate a coupon code. So it's a random one, or you can create a custom one. So let's put on here like NameHero is cool. And then you have the option to choose, is it a percentage off discount? Is it a fixed amount discount? So it's like, is it 20% off, or is it a $5 discount, or is it a complete price override, or does it just mean like you get free setup? It's whatever that works best for you. I like to use percentage myself, And then the next one is it a recurring discount? So if they buy a domain this year and it goes to renew next year, does it apply to that? If so, you'd want to click on this. Most of the time you don't want to do that. So value, this is the actual percentage. So say you wanted to discount at 20%. And then you select the product. So let's just go back over here. You can see I've just got a domain here. So if I wanted to make it for a domain, I would just click that. Does it require anything? Yes or no? Select it if it does. Billing cycles, does it matter? So if you're offering hosting monthly, you'd want to select that. For me, I'm saying this domain registration, it's for 1 year, so we'll click that. And if you start date, expiration date, you can just leave it blank for none. Maximum usage, so this works good. Don't allow it to happen like 5 times. Lifetime promotion, apply once, new signups, apply once, existing client, and upgrade and downgrade. So there's a lot of different options to tailor it. I just, most of the time, there you go. It's just, the WHMCS is very detailed, so you can become very specific for your business, which is great. I love WHMCS because it provides that amount of flexibility. But initially, don't overthink it. Just kind of go with the basic and start from there. And then as you get customers, as you get your business built, then you'll have time to really get into all the specifics. So I'll validate that code. Hopefully it accepts it. Let's give it a second here while it loads. Make sure we got everything typed in right. Yep, NameHero is cool, 20% one-time discount. See, so now instead of paying $25, I'm paying $20.72. All right, so that's how you add a promo code to your package there, or to your website. And you can do this for any product you want. So anytime you run a promotion for domains or hosting packages, that's where you add the promotion code. So next, I want to talk about how to add a credit card processor. So you remember in the beginning of the setup wizard, I showed you how to add PayPal. But if I go to setup and I go to payments and I go to payment gateways, I can see all my options there of what I want to use. So first off, they have their featured payment gateways. That's like the first, what they recommend for the most part. And you can see PayPal, and then they've got a sponsored credit card processor. So it's likely that these people are like sponsoring WHMCS. So I've never used them. Feel free to check them out if you want, but I think that will actually allow you to process credit cards with Authorize.net through Evo. But what I really like is Stripe. So if I go to all payment gateways, and if I go down here, you can see Stripe here. So there's Stripe right here, I'm sorry. I can click Stripe and then add it. And so then I can accept credit cards through Stripe. All I need is my publishable API key. And it says this can be obtained from here. So you could just head over to Stripe and you could set up your account. Don't have an account, sign up. All right, so this is what it looks like to do that, and you have to just create your account, your email, your full name, and create a password. Their sign up is so simple here. I'll show you how to do it. That's kind of what they're known for, is being extremely easy to sign up. And sorry, I'm just looking up here to grab my demo email address. Sure got that right. WHMCS web hosting. .com. And demo. I'm just going to log this down here at the top of my screen so I have it. And copy a password. Create account. And so one thing I also like about Stripe is it keeps users on your site. So this is all you need here now. So you can see that quick to get. Now, obviously, you want to keep this private. This is a demo site, so we're not going to do anything with it. But if I go back over here, you can see your Stripe publishable API key, your publishable key right here. So just copy this. And then you would grab your secret key. Now I'm not going to reveal this just because we are on a video and I don't want to compromise any system. So I would just publish that here. Company name. This just takes it from your WHMCS settings. So whatever your company name is called, click Save Changes. And it's not going to add it since I didn't have that in there. But that's exactly where it is right there. I just reveal my test key token. Oh, actually, it's a test key token. So what the heck? Let's just do it so we can have it in there for the sake of the demonstration. And save. All right. So now my checkout, if I go, to activate it. So I've activated the gateway, but I have to make sure it's shown on my order form. So make sure that's checked. Now, if I go back to setup, products and services, remember where we set up our packages earlier, you can see it defaults to that. So it did set. I just want to make sure that it had Stripe on there as well because I didn't want to go through this and not show it. But if I go to checkout now, and while that comes up here, we'll go back into here. And I'll show you all the rest of these gateways. So I'm just going back to products and services and, payments, payment gateways. If you're in another part of the world where you don't have Stripe or you don't want to use Stripe, you have a ton of different options. I mean, and these are pre-built-in gateways, so there's no coding or anything to them. You just do pretty much what I did with Stripe. Click the one you want to use and then sign up for it. Now, some merchant processors do require a good bit of paperwork, but that's why I like Stripe because it's simple and easy to get started, and so is PayPal. If I go back over here, you can see Stripe's here, and so boom. Now I can accept cards on my site. All right, so now we can accept credit cards, we can accept PayPal. We've implemented our hosting and our domains to our site. So now, as long as we've funded our eNom account, customers can now go to our site and also register the domains, transfer them, and buy the hosting. Now, before I run you through a sign up, there's one last thing that you need to do, or I would suggest that you do, just to make the fully white labeled experience between us and NameHero and your own brand. So if I want to head over here really quick to my client area at NameHero, so go back over here and click Login to WHM here. And from inside of here, we allow you the ability to add your logo inside of cPanel. And of course, your customers will want this, or you'll want this, so they don't see NameHero and they see your brand. So what I did for an example is I just took this logo here. Whoops, let's go back here. This Hostico logo, I just took that for an example. Now, I'm sure you've got your own, or feel free to, have one made or whatnot. But that's the one I grabbed. And I go in here and I type in, I used to type in BRA. It used to be called branding, but now it's customization. Old habits are hard to break. But right in here is where you can set this. And so these are all unique to your business. So company name, the WHMCS, web hosting's what we're calling us here. Help link. So if you go over to your WHMCS, and so to get to this link, remember this is the WHMCS bridge link, but I can always get to it from my main page right here. If I click order now, it takes me over to here. But that's how I got here. Now you'll notice there's a knowledge base section of it here. And by default, this is going to be empty anyways, okay? So you're not going to have any articles in here. Some people ask, can we copy NameHero's knowledge base? And the answer is no, you have to write your own articles. But if you want to have your own knowledge base, you do have the option to do that. So this is the link you would use. So I would just grab this link at the top, and then I would put it right inside of here, the help link, or you could put either one. There's a ticket desk inside too, so you grab that link or just put your documentation link. I'd recommend just using the doc link, which then people can submit a ticket from there. But then grab your company logo. So I could just browse, and I just added it to my computer here. And then webmail logo. So it also shows on webmail. So if you have different logos, you can. Because your customers, remember, they have a cPanel interface and they also have a webmail interface. So you've got that and a fave icon. If you have one of those, you can add that. So I save. All right, and so I'll demonstrate this in a second and show you where this shows up. But if I go back to my WHMCS and I go to support announcements, this is where you add the announcements. So if we go back over here, I'm going to go back to our home. You'll notice down here that it shows like a demo announcement. So if you scroll down here, thank you for choosing WHMCS. You probably want to remove that or rename it or something. So I would just simply remove that here. There. So now that's gone. But also I go to support, you'll see knowledge base. So here, if I click add article, this is where actually I have to add a category first. So You could add a category, say getting started, add category, then add article. And see, this is a great way to connect with your customers, but also to cut back on them asking you questions by just typing out your articles here. So you would just type in, I'm just using a quick demo, obviously. I can save it. Now, if I go back to my site, actually, let's make sure I click publish. Yes. So if I go back to my site now and I click on knowledge base, I should have an article. Yep. So category is getting started, how to sign up, most popular article, and I can populate my knowledge base with articles about my company, unique to me. And tailor that around it. And same with announcements. I deleted that one, but I could go to support and announcements, and I can create announcements and whatnot there as well. Now, if I go down here, you can see, well, that we got rid of that one there, but I can make new announcements and stuff right there. So that's how my my announcements and knowledge base work. And I can't say enough about how I recommend going in and making knowledge base articles unique to your business and unique to your customers. You only know your customers as good as you will know your customers the best, and they will give you all the feedback you need. But as you see more questions coming about from your customers, I recommend adding articles in the knowledge base because it sure as heck makes it easier for them, and it'll make it easier for you as well. Network status, you don't have to worry about that, and you have your contact page as well. Okay, so with all of that, with everything's customized now, and what we can do is just save, and I'll exit out of WHM. So I just wanted to show you how you added your name in there. Now you can download the style of cPanel and style that if you're a designer or something, but man, it seems like a lot of work. But of course, if you're into that, then go for it. You have the full option to do that. Okay, so let's go back to the site. And I want to put through a test order. So I'm going to go back to my main page of my site. Okay, so if I hover over hosting and go to shared hosting, because remember, that's what you're going to be reselling with us. You go to this page here, and we have our packages. So let's do a demo enterprise sign up. Once again, I showed you how to put these links in. You'd want to modify your prices and all the fine details, and write all kinds of cool information about the services you're offering. Remember in the beginning of the video, I kind of explained, a lot of the features we have at NameHero that we offer you to resell. So you can go to our reseller page and, really, get into those details as well when you're developing out this page. But keep it simple, keep it easy, and your customers will love it. All right, so we're going to click order now. Oh, my internet connection has not sped up tonight. All right, so now the customer has the option. They can register a new name, transfer a name, or use their existing domain. So we're going to pretend like we have our own because I have not funded my Enom account. So I'm going to pretend to use my own here. I'm just going to call it ryangray.com. So this is assuming the user already has, or the customer already has their domain at GoDaddy or Namecheap, and they're just going to change their name servers to you. Remember, we set those up as well. So we'll click use. And so here's our total. So we have $14.95 a month. I'm going to put in, I made a promo code for 100% off. So you might want to do that. Remember how we created the promo code, just so I don't have to go through and pay. Check out. All right. So now we're going to pretend like we're a customer. So, all right. So I don't owe anything. So I don't think it might make me put a credit card in. So we'll just keep it on PayPal. Click complete order. And so again, this is what your customer will see. Obviously they would need to pay, but unless you did give them a coupon code. But so now at this point in time, it's actually provisioning their hosting account. Everything's in real time. So if they are registering a domain, it'd be registering the domain as well. I have an account. Awesome. So if we go to our order or our admin area and now go to pending orders, you'll see here's the order I just put through right here. You can see this is my domain, all my information, the promo code I used. And we'll go back here. And this is what you see. We'll go back to the screen, what your customer sees. All right, so your customer sees all this. Hello, Ryan. It looks all nice and professional. Click continue to the client area. All right, and you can see very similar to our setup here at NameHero. So your customer will see their services, demo email box set up here, but they got all the information about their hosting account via email. It automatically sent that to them. But if I click on here, I can log in. I'll show you what it looks like when they log into their control panel. Everything's good. Click log into cPanel. All right. And so this is their own control panel, just like the cPanel that you were using to set this up, to where they have their file manager, they've got their backups, they can go install WordPress, and they're ready to get building on their website now. And so inside of your client area interface here, once you get these orders, you can just accept them. Just click accept order here. And it keeps everything nice and neat. Now, as you generate revenue, they'll also show in here. You'll start to see revenue and sales and stuff like that. Go to clients and view search clients. You can click on the client and see I can log in as the client. So I could log in as myself, you can log in as your customer and see what it looks like for themselves. But that is pretty much all there is to it. It's WHMCS is an amazing piece of software. It makes it extremely easy for you to get started reseller hosting. And I think we've demonstrated just how quick and fast. I think we're about 2-3 hours into this, and we have a fully functional live website. I recommend starting with PayPal. Stripe's another good one because they allow you just to get set up and get things live. And then once you start to make sales, then you can finish the rest of the account set up at that point. But really all there is to it is just taking a couple hours to configure everything. Now, WHMCS has so many pieces to it. If we go into if you go to Setup and Market Connect, grab my password again. My point being is they've got their Market Connect where you can resell other services than just web hosting from us here at NameHero. So you can see you can resell SSL search. And that's not a big one nowadays, but Weebly's pretty good to resell, the Weebly website builder. You can resell CodeGuard, SiteLock. You can resell VPNs or email security. SEO tools, another big one. So you can set up any of these into your WHMCS by just pointing and clicking. Now, the first thing we need to do is just create your Market Connect account. Mention your email and password here. And once you do that, let's just do it real quick. Oh, I had to create it first. Oh, that made it easy. Success. Okay, so once you create your account, you can select any of these. And all you have to do is, of course, deposit your funds, just like we did with Enom. So it's very similar to that. You would go deposit at least $20. But then you say if you wanted to resell Weebly, here's all the details on it. Let's grab my taskbar. But here's all the details on reselling Weebly. If you go to pricing, you can see this is what you can sell for free, retail price, like a trial. And then here's what you can pay for $6.13 a month for the starter, and they recommend reselling at $8.99. But all of this, all you have to do is click activate it. Activate now. Success. And now we can go to manage. And now you can start offering Weebly throughout your whole store, throughout your whole WHMCS. If I go back to my WHMCS and go to store and go to browse all, see the category website builder. And inside of this is the Weebly packages. Check that out. Super simple. Pretty cool, huh? So again, spend some time to go through WHMCS and just look at the many possibilities you have besides just the hosting. The hosting's great. The domains are awesome. But, being able to explore the Market Connect's another good opportunity to, have additional upsells and to, really get the items for your business and that your customers need. You also notice that WHMCS has a full support desk too. So if we go to setup, and we go to support, you can actually create support departments. So if you want to add a support desk, you can add a description if you want, and email, we could put like support@hswebhosting.com. You could assign administrators, make it for clients only, a new department. So now customers can submit tickets to you, and you'll see these popping up here as people do that. So there's so many different features inside of WHMCS that you can utilize. So I don't want to overwhelm you with all of them because there is a lot. The purpose of this, I want to show you is how quick and easy it is to set up, to get to a Lives website, to where you're actually selling web hosting, to where you're able to sell these packages, the other opportunities you have to sell. And you can really start a huge business in web hosting. It's the industry that continues on growing every single day. I never thought that we'd begin carrying the internet in our pocket, and so that's nowadays it's just crazy the amount of people that are creating websites. And now you can be able to offer that for you and your audience, and they easily have the same one-click WordPress install that you've used to set up your website here. You can now offer that to your customers. I recommend going local. If you are in an area to where you have customers or you have clients that maybe you've already worked with and in some capacity, maybe doing web design or social media management, I would say start there. Once they get used to your hosting, they see how good it is. I mean, if you're using NameHero's cloud, I can promise you're going to have really good uptime. You're going to have a lot of features, and they're going to be pleased with it. And I would recommend starting there and just expanding outward. But with that said, it's been a pleasure being on here. Feel free to leave the feedback. I'll try my best to kind of stay up with Darrel's channel and to provide my feedback where I can. If you need help, certainly make sure to utilize all those channels. And we publish a good bit of YouTube content as well, so we have tons of video tutorials on ours. And Darrel and I have been doing these tutorials every year, so we've got other ones before this as well, to where you're likely to get even more information. As the WHMCS product continues to evolve, things seem to get even simpler, which is great. But there's all kinds of options in WHMCS. Any type of business can run on it, not just web hosting. So even if you're offering other services, you can do them as well inside of here. So thanks so much, Darrel, for having me. Thanks everyone for watching. It's been a great pleasure, and I'll see you around next time.
So pretty simple stuff, right? Now, if you guys have any questions about this video, about things we didn't cover, or if there's something else that you want to know, please feel free to put them in the comments below. We do our best to try to get to all the comments. Of course, I cannot respond to all of them, but I will do my best. So congratulations on your new website / business, and let me know how it goes. And until then, my name is Darrel Wilson, and I will see all of you party people in the next video, guys. Take care.